Hey everybody, Sycra in here, and today I'm gonna be with my good friend Bob Meatbag,
Hello.
and hopefully Jet and Will, if you're coming.
Hey!
Wow!
JettyJetShow, everyone. Happy New Year's, you guys. Happy New Year's and JettyJetShow.
Chambertipso!
That's hello for Cambodian.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, I was totally, trying to get this fixed and working. Oh, what the heck?
Alright. So thanks for joining us, everyone. I know it's late in Europe, and all the Europeans, I'm very sorry that it's so late, but thanks for joining us. If you're in America, it's pretty okay. Should be okay. North America. And, yeah. So we're not gonna wait for Will because he's just.
So, hey, how's everything going, you guys? I got like 5 videos open, like 5 different tabs open. So right now I'm really, I hear like the same thing repeating. So let me just fix this real quick. Just give me a second. I need to turn this on.
All right.
I can't tell what's going on.
Bob Meatbag, you're gonna be drawing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Sounds good. So I'm going to be watching the chat mostly and taking your chat questions. We'll do our best to answer them if we can. And yeah.
Great.
It's going to be fun, everybody.
I still have people at my channel. They need to hop over to your channel. You guys.
If you're watching, if you're at Jet's channel, please leave. Don't
Yes,
watch
please
Jet's videos. They're just not worth it.
Don't support
Hey!
this guy.
Hey!
Nah, you should watch Jet's videos. They're amazing.
Yeah, stay on my channel. I have a nice please stand by starting soon sign up.
Oh, look who decided. Look who decided to rear his beautiful face.
Oh, snap.
Hey, where's your
It's Will. Hi,
How's it
Will.
going?
Oh, wow.
It's going really good.
Let me switch cameras real quick.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I always forget how to switch cameras. There it is.
I
Wow. Okay. So people in the
There we
chat,
go.
if you have suggestions for what you would like Zenfuli to draw, Bob Meatbag / Jeff, any of them,
Howdy.
write your suggestions and then he can do those, and yeah.
Are we doing a drawing competition or like Steam night?
Yeah, we're doing a draw-thon
For
right
me, I'm gonna be paying attention to the chat, so I cannot. I'm not gonna be joining in.
He's the referee.
I'm the referee, and I'm gonna say who wins and who loses. But that's really nice to see you, Will.
You too.
So-
Sorry, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Great to meet you, man.
You too. It's good to meet you.
Hey, Will.
Uh-huh.
Right here, man.
Hey.
Right there, buddy. All right. Bring it in. Bring it in, dude. What happened? Right here.
Nice.
How you doing, man?
Well, pretty good.
Good.
Y'all have a good holiday. Good New Year's.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year's and JettyJetShow.
Chummed up so.
JettyJetShow. You gotta put your hands together. It's not racist. You can do it. JettyJetShow.
Oh.
Namaste.
Namaste. Right on. You got it, man.
Somebody help Jet. Ahaha, he looks worried.
I think
Me?
Are
Oh.
you worried, Jet?
a little bit.
What are you worried about, dude?
Kind of shaky. I might not survive this.
You'll survive.
You'll be fine, man.
Uh-oh. Here come the inappropriate topics already.
Oh.
So let
What are they?
me suggest the appropriate ones first. Murbit Lol says a rabbit riding a big scorpion cutting trees down.
Rabbit
Riding
scorpion
a
cutting.
big scorpion cutting trees down.
Okay.
Blue Cost says, will you be uploading this later? I'm going to be leaving soon. Yes, yeah, for sure. You can leave. You don't have to watch us. It's okay. It's okay.
It's all right.
If you feel tired,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to watch this.
I might cry a little at night, but it's all right.
I'll put your name in my little black book, but it's fine.
El Otmani Ali says, going to miss out school to watch the stream. Sycra and Will, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, let's do a
Thanks,
little.
thanks for leaving out Jet and Bob Meatbag.
Yeah, where's the rest of us, huh?
That's right.
Huh?
So let's do a little introduction for Sycra. This is Sycra, you guys. And,
Right.
He hails from Vancouver.
11 years old and in the 3rd grade in New Mexico. I don't know, I probably got it wrong. No, but okay, yeah, I'll do an introduction of everybody. Okay, so here is the one and only Jet Kim. Oh, Kim Chair? Kim Chair?
That works. Kim chairs. Kim chair, kimchi.
Jet
Free.
Golden Car.
Mm.
Jet Gold Car
Better
from the JettyJetShow. And I'll put all the links in the description. If you're watching this later, there'll be links in the description. If you're watching it now, sorry, no deal. But JettyJetShow it's a really cool. Well, do you want to describe the JettyJetShow?
No.
Okay, it's an art channel that covers like how to draw all sorts of stuff. It's got like a really cool anime style a lot, and what else?
Yeah, I can describe it.
Okay.
I basically pour out all of my knowledge that I've gained from art school, and I take it really slowly, and I feel like I teach it in a way where people can understand it, because I am really right-brained, and I feel like I have super ADD at the same time. But like when I teach, I feel like I gather it and speak it in a way like it's not so hard for people to understand. Like, you know, like formal training in art schools and stuff. I take it down to just your average person, and yeah, you know, instead of like I don't use basically technical terms. I just kind of, you know, draw the line. Do this, do that. You know, just really simple, straightforward.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Here we have WillTerrell 2001. What's the 2001 for, Will? I never asked you that.
I don't know. I made this channel like in 2001.
Before YouTube was around.
I know I made it at least in 2007, but I didn't make videos until about a year and a half ago.
So the 2001 has no real significance?
Really, it has none whatsoever. I guess WillTerrell was just taken, so I was like, what's something different?
Yeah, because sometimes
What's
people
something
put
that
like
sounds-
the date of their birth, right?
What's something that sounds futuristic? 2001.
A Space Odyssey.
And what do you do on your channel?
Me? I mostly just talk a lot and laugh.
And draw amazing things?
I tend to laugh at my own jokes.
Oh, I think we all do.
Because if you don't, who else is gonna, right? Right?
But
Yeah.
seriously, I do videos where I just sketch and talk about life and talk about being an artist and all the things that we have to overcome. And I try and be, entertaining with it.
Yeah. Yeah, Georgi Slavov says, Will reminds me of my older brother, only older.
Oh, good.
Moving on, we
I
have
get that all the time.
that
My
you look like
grandma
someone's
told me.
older brother?
Yes, only older.
Oh.
My grandma told me that. No.
Now we have Zenfuli or Bob. Sorry.
It's
Bob
bobmeatbag.
Bob. I have to use the computer.
Oh, I gotta go.
Yeah, Bob Meatbag. What's your channel about, Bob?
My channel is, I have no idea sometimes. I do sketches, like prompts, from all the fine meatbags who leave their comments, and then I do weird, I don't know, I do my interpretation of their ideas, and then I draw them, and then hopefully that satiates their hunger until next time.
Yeah, you do all sorts of ideas that are pretty...
Yes. I think anybody who knows don't really need me to explain what it really is.
But you're amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
He is amazing.
Okay, so...
And he's only 21.
Don't go throwing out my name and my age.
Yeah,
I meant to say.
How old is everybody? Let's do that.
All right. All right. I'm 50 years old, as I always say. 50 years old.
I'm really worried about this because Will, you're gonna have to tell me. Did you have this when you were approaching 30? Because right now I'm getting like nervous. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna be 30 soon.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much inevitable.
Yeah.
I mean, the only alternative is not turning 30, and that's not a good alternative. I cease to exist. Yeah, I actually liked being 30. I thought it was pretty good. And 32 was the best year because that's when I actually felt like a man for the first time. As weird as that sounds, I felt like a grown up.
When you were 32?
Yeah, it's just the being 32, and I've found that with a lot of my friends too. It's they call it the age of man. That's when most guys feel like they're the manliest.
I still feel like I'm waiting to hit puberty.
Yeah, well, I'll wait till you're 32.
I mean, people see me and they're like, "So, what high school are you in?"
See, that's why I started growing a beard, because for the longest time,
you have a baby face.
Yeah, I have a baby face if I don't have facial hair on. Even with facial hair, it's still kind of. But yeah, so when I was 19, I looked like a toddler. Somebody needs to change his diaper. I'm like, I'm 19, I can almost drink.
What are you drawing, Jeff? Bob?
I have no idea. Are
you gonna do the scorpion thing, or that one didn't?
Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot what the prompt was.
A rabbit riding a big scorpion cutting trees down, or if that one's hard for you, draw a triple X scene between a turtle and a duck, which probably no. Draw a hippo riding on a motorcycle being chased by the law.
Hold on, where are you looking at that at?
I will post the link in the chat, in our chat, so...
I know, that's... Oh, okay, so... You're gonna be chat master.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking at the chat, so you guys, you can do what you want, or, if you want to draw, that's cool. I see you're drawing, Will. Are you doing the chat suggestions?
This is gonna be a hippopotamus. Hippopotamus.
Okay. That's cool. So you and Jeff can do different ones.
All right.
Hippopotamus. If my camera would focus. Stop it, cameras.
This is the weirdest thing right now. Seriously, I feel like I'm watching your guys' stream, but then I keep remembering I'm a part of it. Doesn't make sense. I'm removed from it. I'm like, oh look, they're talking.
What school did you go to, Jet?
I went to the school of Art Academy in San Francisco.
Oh wow!
And
how'd you like it?
Yes. It was nice, I guess.
It was
I
expensive.
liked it. It was very expensive. Yes, that's
Yes,
basically it.
I've heard that.
How
very
much is it? How much is it a year?
For me, I didn't live on campus. I didn't dorm. I commuted, and I try to stay basic and everything. So it costed me about 30,000 a year, I think.
And that's for 4
Yeah.
years.
30,000, yeah, and that was cheap.
So
compared to-
120,000, pretty much.
Yeah. I've heard that's about average for art center.
Yeah, no, exactly 120. But then, luckily, I transferred units from my city college, as well as getting the grants from California and all that stuff. But it's still, I ended up with 60K, and I think that brings us into our topic, like one of our overarching topics
Okay.
of costs and stuff.
Let's get into the first topic.
Let's get into.
So what is the first topic?
What is
The first topic is Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year's.
Get up to go.
So first topic is our New Year's resolution.
Oh my
What
god.
are you guys'?
I do not do New Year's resolutions anymore.
Oh no.
Not in a bad way. Hang on, my camera.
We're gonna start this year. This is the New Year's resolution. Your New Year's resolution is to start your resolution this year. And
Well, I used to be all about the New Year's resolutions. Like I loved New Year's. That was like my tradition. I would like the day before I would like hole up and journal and like write all these resolutions and stuff, and sort of like analyze the year I had before. And it was good. I think that's healthy to do. But then I would find that I wasn't always following through on those things.
Mhm.
And then this year I decided instead of doing resolutions, I was going to spend the weekend actually like purging my house, my studio of all the stuff I don't need, and getting organized and creating new systems for becoming successful with what I want to do. Like we cleaned out my studio, repainted all the walls, putting up new boards for like storyboarding, and yeah, it's been good.
So you have a goal in mind, though. I mean, that's
Yeah, but it's the same goal I've been working on for like a couple of years.
So it's a continuation resolution.
Yeah, but I think if you're still in the trying to figure out what you want to do with your life phase, then it's important to take the time to like set goals for yourself.
That's great.
I agree.
I don't make New Year's resolutions because I don't know, when I see people making New Year's resolutions, I've seen so many people, they make it and then they don't follow through.
Yeah.
Including myself, and it's like, wait, this is just saying words that you're not going to do.
Yeah.
But it's
Anyone
fun.
can do that. I'm going to fly to the sun.
Well,
I guess what we can.
The problem with New Year's resolutions, willpower only works 10% of the time. So, like, you can make yourself do something 10% of the time, but the other 90% of the time, you like when stuff goes wrong, you kind of collapse on yourself, and you don't have that willpower to get you going. So you need to use that 10% of willpower as like rocket boosters to get you started, to get everything set up for you, and then you get your system set up, and then you work really hard. Like it's basically you have to get to a point with that 10% of willpower energy, and get your system set up so that it works automatically, whether you're tired or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So desu ne.
Yeah.
So desu ne.
Navy Blue Manga asks, do you think drawing is mostly comprised of muscle memory?
No.
I don't. Well, part of it, I think, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I do think there is a large part that is muscle memory, but I mean, it's.
You have to train it.
Yeah, you gotta have something to remember, right? Because otherwise, you just get really good at drawing. I guess whatever you draw.
Yeah. there's
I think-
imagination involved, there's theory involved, there's a lot of technical stuff involved as well. A lot of it is very much just in the mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of like you can't run a marathon until you build up those muscles.
Right.
Like, you can't run a marathon if you can't walk a mile.
And you can't draw with your left hand if you're not left-handed.
Yeah.
Oh, Jet, you're drawing now?
I'm just testing. I remember the lag thing. Yeah.
Okay,
It's ridiculous.
okay.
Just
So
testing.
are you all going to draw different things then?
It doesn't look like mine's working.
Willpower. WillTerrell uses his willpower.
Indeed.
Only 10% of the time.
Okay, Milika57 says, Will, I must say thank you. You are so inspiring. I
Oh.
watched your videos, and they were really helpful, and the stories that you tell are just amazing. So keep on doing what you do, because I love your work.
Oh my goodness.
I do too. I do.
Aw, thank
And I
you.
love his stories.
Yeah. You do excellent work, Will.
Aw, thanks.
Heretics Jen says, draw Sycra and Will having a death match using medieval weaponry.
We did that
Ooh,
last
that would not go well. That would not go well. I would, yeah.
You would what?
No. Tia tap ya.
A mirror. Hi, we're all teenagers. Okay.
You'll see the motorcycle under yeah.
Oh, I see it. I'm amazed that you can remember what a hippo looks like and a motorcycle and all that.
I can't. I'm just kind of figuring out as I go. Did you notice? I was like, hey, that looks like a hippo. I just had to draw the back part.
So
I saw that when they did Kung Fu Panda. That was one of the they struggled with designing Po for the longest time until they decided to make him a real panda where his head just connects with his neck or with his shoulders.
right.
All of a sudden the design popped.
Yeah, I remember seeing the original character designs for Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name, but they were amazing.
Nico Marley.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Ian Teodoro asks, can anyone help me? I want to become a concept artist or comic book artist. How would this happen? And how much money would I earn?
Oh. Slippery slopes.
Slippery
What do y'all
slopes.
I
Some of us
You can't do
struggle.
it for the money. You gotta start off doing it for the love first.
Do it for yourself. You can start right away.
Mm-hmm.
Start right away. And once you get good and you put your work out there, people will notice. And it's natural, You get the attention and you'll get work. But, man, if you're good enough, you can do it for yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like right now you're thinking a lot about the goal instead of your passion, because you're saying comic artist or concept artist, but those are quite different things.
Yeah.
You might want to
yes.
think about what do you really like and what are you asking, because maybe we can talk about this, but there's this thing where a lot of people like the idea of wanting to be an artist much more than maybe they don't even understand the reality of being an artist. And the idea is very nice. It's like, hey, I'll do drawings, and drawings are fun, and I'll get paid, and getting paid is awesome. So I'll get paid to do what is fun and awesome. Great. And I like video games, so maybe I'll work in the video game industry, or I like movies, so maybe I'll work for movies. But it's
sort of like they're at McDonald's looking at the value meal, like, I'll take that and that and that and that. And how much is it?
Yeah.
How quickly can I get it?
Exactly.
I don't know if it works like that.
Yeah, there's a reality thing, and that is that it takes so much work to become a successful artist. it's a lot more years than you would think.
And concept art especially, it's like you have to. I think in the field for concept artists, they have to know much more than just the average artist. Like if you just do characters, you have to worry about anatomy, fashion, and values and other things. But concept artists, they create worlds. They create everything. I mean, think about the amount of knowledge you need for that.
You do that with comics too.
Oh yeah, that's true. But it's like it's a big role, and it's difficult.
Okay. Jonathan Beck, could I get all of you to critique one of my pieces? I don't know. It would be hard to see your piece for all of us right now because some of us are drawing on paper.
Oh man, I'm just testing my thing right now.
Lucky Lifeguard, maybe you can answer this, Jet, since you were a lifeguard.
Okay.
What are some things... No, he was!
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, he was a lifeguard.
I guarded lives.
Nice. Did you work with Pamela Anderson?
And David Hasselhoff.
Can you answer this question for me? Do you really run in slow motion when you are a lifeguard on the beach?
It's so frustrating for the person drowning.
You're not allowed.
Help me!
You're not allowed
I'm dying, but they look gorgeous.
So
Pamela's in a different pool.
So Lucky Lifeguard asks, what are some things you can do to get your creative juices flowing?
You gotta run like 5 miles?
Buy a bottle of creative juice from Creative Juice Companies. Walla Walla Washington.
Do a satanic ritual.
Okay, so if you guys are just...
Virgin sheep.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna answer the question.
Real answers? Do you have real answers?
Coming right now. You attach a battery to your bike.
Okay. So I like to look at Kim Jong-gi's books or other artists. I like to just look at art stuff, and pretty much I will get my juices flowing. Yeah, that sounded wrong, but
No. Here, let me give my serious take on that. Basically, there's many approaches, right? And I think one really helpful way is looking at definitely inspirational artists, but starting off with like simple little thumbnails that don't require too much thinking. You know what I mean? And like get an idea. Like just choose a topic, write it out like a little brainstorm. Say, for example, if it wouldn't lag, but let's say you had a knight. Say I want to do a knight, and you want to have a male, and then you want to do like big spear. You know what I mean? You write out the idea just in a bubble form, and you play with that, and then you try to do varieties of it, but not like a finalized one-piece illustration. You just do mini little thumbnails. If it would please stop lagging, but you just do a bunch of them, and then from there you copy it, and they explode it, and then what happens is you basically have a bunch of ideas to work with because you have tons of thumbnails, and basically ideas generate from little ideas. Do you guys ever do that?
Yeah, I do. I didn't do the brainstorming thing. I've never tried that. That's interesting.
Yeah. If only So definitely thumbnailing it, and then when you're doing thumbnails, starting simple is basically the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
Starting simple, and then from there you branch out into everything.
Oh, right. Some people are saying where they're from. Where is everybody from, and what time is it where you're at?
I'm from...
Not... Oh, right. Well, that's fine. Go ahead. Where are you from, Jet?
I'm from Cambodia.
You're from Cambodia!
I'm from Cambodia. No, I'm from California. We're all in the same time zone.
You're in LA?
Except Will.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Sacramento, California.
I'm in Lubbock, Texas, which is
Lubbock, Texas.
6:30.
Hey, Lubbock sounds a lot like bollocks.
It really does.
It does. That's what I think of every time you're like Lubbock. It's like, oh, that sounds like how, what do you call it? Those people that can't, they mispronounce words, like the thing goes backwards. Dyslexic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how a dyslexic would pronounce bollocks.
Anytime somebody calls like and says, "Are you in Lubbock, Texas?" I know they're a telemarketer.
Oh.
Lubbock.
Well, that's a good way of knowing what you're getting into.
It's probably a European.
Yeah.
Ooh, you wrote.
Are there any Europeans here?
European.
I like European people.
Are
Yeah.
you using a Blackwing? Toxic imperialism asks. Or no, he says, haha, I joined a live stream while drawing with a Blackwing, only to see someone else drawing with a Blackwing.
Yeah, it's a Blackwing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Written backwards.
Somebody's drawing with a black wing?
How expensive is it?
These, it was $20 for a 12-pack.
Okay, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, you can get them from jetpens.com.
I love jet pens. Someone
Yes.
turned me onto that site. It's amazing.
May have been me. Yeah, if you get some from JetPens, tell them I sent you.
Hold on.
You want some
You guys-
sponsorship money?
You guys have heard of my store?
Huh?
I've been in your planes too.
What?
His name is Jet, so you know jet pens.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. John Thompson asks, how do you guys keep from being lazy? I'm really bad about that.
Oh, I think that's perfect for our, like...
It is.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I actually wanted to, before we go into that, I was thinking, like, what if we talked about just, our accomplishments throughout our 2013 year and what we feel like we could have improved on and stuff like that.
All right, how about you guys think of that while I say where everyone's from in the chat?
There you go.
Is that okay? Okay, so Lidominus from Texas, it's 6:32. Birdie Links in Australia, it's 11:31. I don't know if that's assuming AM. Little Glassies from Norway, it's 1:33 AM in Norway, and I don't know some Japanese name. It's from Germany.
You can do it.
I think like I can kind of remember some katakana, but it's like, is that Mirakuru? I guess.
Yeah,
Could be miracle.
yes, miracle.
Miracle. Yeah.
Mirakuru.
Oh, I got it.
You get it.
Amazing. Abibu, I'm from England, and it's 12:33. Another Angel Powers from England. Mr. Origami's from Italy. Oh, you're from Italy, Mr. Origami. Ah. Yinrei is from Denmark. And
Yeah, that happens, right?
Switzerland.
Italian and Japanese names.
Artifacts is from Latvia. Musa's from Lebanon, and it's 2:33. Wow, that's pretty late. Christopher Wilson's from Florida at 7:30. Tim is from Denmark, and it's 1:33. Micro's from Germany. Rem Steyr-Nails is from Serbia. Serbia. Ronan X-Ray Energizer is from not Sweden. Spiritual Abyss is from, oh boy, Switzerland. There we go. Madiv's from Germany. Oh, there's a lot. Dilip Ramirez. Did Sycra got my question? I think I might have missed it, Dilip. Homie Mao is from France, and Anakin's from Seattle, and Go Texas from Florida, and Amirar, who is a good friend of mine, is from New Zealand, and so many Germans. Mr. Puvvy's from Germany, Deutschland. Steiner Arts is from Deutschland.
Wow.
Freeman. Super Future Sound is from California. Nice.
Oh.
And yeah, so many more Germany. Sedgilo, Fingofi, Mirbez from Croatia, Vels from France, Super Bees, Czech Republic, Scarlocks from Poland, and Mewpets from Northern Ireland, Cepos is from Greece, and Essie's from Canada. Well, she's from California. Okay. And Luis Rubio's from Chile, and Charlie Talks is from Quebec, and Mobo Jobo is from Georgia, and that's all the time we got. So, what was the thing, Jet?
The thing
What was your thing that you were gonna say that we're thinking of? Because I forgot.
I was just thinking, what if we talked about our accomplishments? Like
Okay, what are your accomplishments?
See, that's something I like to talk about more than New Year's resolutions.
There you go.
What have you accomplished?
What did you feel like you achieved, man?
Me? What do you mean
Yes.
now? No, I'm just kidding. I didn't start this. I started this YouTube channel. I guess it was the summer before last. And I was in a really bad place. Like a bunch of my studio mates quit on me, or I was just kind of frustrated with working with them. And the sketch club I was running kind of ran its course. And so I started this YouTube channel just wanting to keep teaching, and I didn't expect anything of it. And as of January 1st last year, I had 30,000 views or 60,000 views, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then as of January 1st this year, I've had 650,000 views.
Nice.
I'm really happy about it.
Congratulations. Clap hands. Clap hands.
And I love being able to, teach people all over the world. It's pretty amazing.
It is.
So I feel like I've done more in the last year than I did, the 6 years before that combined.
Nice, man.
That's
Very
very
good.
nice. That's a good accomplishment. What's yours, Jet?
Oh, can you skip me for now?
Okay.
He's like,
I don't know.
Back in February.
What's yours, Sycra? I didn't do nothing. I just woke up. Okay, what's yours then, Fumi? Or bobmeatbag?
Get back to me on that, would you?
Okay. What's yours, Jet?
I think, okay, so, YouTube is one major accomplishment in my life, I felt like I started off this year around 200 subscribers, 200, 300, something like that, but I opened up my account two years ago, and I posted a video, and I didn't think anything of it, until I saw like a couple people pop up, and they're like, hey, we like your channel, it's like 25 or so, and I said, these are people who are willing to subscribe and pay attention, and I felt like, let's give them something, so let's just see where it goes, and I just started working on my YouTube videos, and it freaking took off, and I'm really fortunate for that, I feel.
That was such a weird realization for me. Like, wow, these are real people. It's not just subscribers; they're real people.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, I always feel awkward when I see subscribers. It's like, oh, I got these subscribers, but I'm just some dude who constantly stays in his room, and there's people watching my stuff. Wow, this is real.
It is, and we're just acting a fool, and everybody enjoys our antics.
Yeah, I'm surprised
amazing.
people watch my videos.
Well, not everybody.
Not everybody.
What was his name? Francisco?
Oh yeah.
Mr. Francisco, yeah.
Round Steve says g'day. G'day. Delofash Buranasiri. Delafash, I just wanted to say hi. I've noticed you in every stream of every guy I follow.
Yeah, Delafas, man. Hey, shout out to Delafas.
From Maryland in the U.S. Yeah, you're probably like one of the biggest art followers around. So
I
big
hear
supporter of all the artists.
I hear you've been supporting other artists, Delafash. What's that all about, huh? I thought we had something special. I thought we had something going, man.
And then we find out that you're around everywhere.
That hurts. Hurts. No.
Where's the loyalty?
Delafas, you're an awesome guy, and that goes for everyone else, including. Oh man, I don't want to start naming out people, and then I'm gonna feel sad because we left them out. There's so many great people.
Yeah.
So many. You guys know why I care about you. I try my best to respond to all the comments. Even though it can get tough at times, and then you guys might get mad.
Dude, it has been so hard since they changed the Google Plus to the comments system.
It really has.
Like,
It really.
I feel like
frustrating.
I can't keep up with it anymore.
Yeah. Hey, how is your thing not lagging? Like, why is mine such laggy? I'm like,
What is it?
Do you have, how much RAM do you have, and how much is it your hard drive?
yeah, probably it's my computer. I have to fix it this weekend, and we won't deal with this no more.
Wait, who's lagging? Which screen?
No, just
Jet.
Just whenever I draw. Yeah, whenever I draw, I lag. I mean, when I'm
Which
streaming.
program are you in? Manga Studio?
Yeah.
Manga Studio has a bug in it where it drags anytime you use video programming with it.
Oh, so would it be faster if you used a different program?
Yeah, if you use Photoshop or Sketch.
Oh, that's a good idea. Jet,
Yeah,
bring that sucker over to Photoshop.
That's the reason I haven't been streaming while I make comics, because I draw everything in Manga Studio now. And
Oh,
lags.
are you serious? I didn't know that. I'm like over here suffering. I'm like, it's okay. Manga Studio is a great program. It works beautiful.
I know. Jonathan Rector uses Manga Studio, and he does it. Seems good.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
live?
He's not doing it live though.
Oh, right.
Jam.
Okay, El Upman Ali says, just a question. I started practicing drawing after getting inspired by you guys. You all make drawing look so easy. Oh, it's not for me. Is it normal that everything I draw looks like she? I don't like even a little bit of what I draw. Should I keep drawing till I get better? Makes it hard for me to keep going when I don't see good results.
Aww.
Yeah.
And I sympathize with you, but for me, I just never gave up. And
Yeah, exactly.
It really is true that when you're a little kid, drawing is fun because it's just you have no preconceptions about what you're doing. You're just drawing because it's like you draw something and it doesn't look that good necessarily, but to you it's good. And that's probably the purest form, I think. Is just a kid drawing. And then you start putting judgments on it, and you see things, and it's like, maybe, I remember for myself, I was a big Final Fantasy fan, so maybe I'd want to draw Sephiroth, and it's like, oh, that doesn't look good. And then I'd get discouraged. But it's because now I've got ideas in my mind of what things should be. And then drawing stops being as fun, but then eventually you get the skills, and it becomes fun again when it's like, oh, I can kind of do what I want to do.
Yeah, it's always a constant struggle. It's you want to do better things because you see things in your mind, but then you draw it and then it's not as good. And then you get discouraged. But you have to persevere. It's sort of like you have to get those bad images out, and then eventually start putting out good images.
Yeah, stop focusing on like what's out there. Just focus on what you have. And just enjoy the experience and in your own progression, because there's always somebody going to be better than you, and it kills you. Even today, like even as our at our level, we look at all the talented artists who are way better than us, and
like Jet and Will and Bob,
like Sycra and Will and Bob.
I'm not on that list. My stuff is amateurish. Don't look at me.
Silence. You shall not speak.
Yeah. Okay, the Havoc Knight.
I'm just drawing a hippo riding a motorcycle.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
Do you need any new topics? Because there's more topics. If if you're running out of topics, just let me know and I'll give you some more from.
I think I might need a new topic soon.
Oh my god.
Do you want to do the Sycra and WillTerrell fighting in medieval armor, or do you want to do something else? We could.
Don't
draw me like Red Sonja, okay?
WillTerrell, I think you just saved my life.
Why not do a fun bus?
Look at this, dude.
Personal interpretation.
What?
It's working.
Oh, nice. What program are you in? Photoshop? Yeah.
Photoshop. Yeah.
Will the Savior.
Seductive kitty. Draw a seductive kitty, perhaps. Or where's Jet from? Cambodia. And LA.
Cambodia. No, I'm from Sacramento, California. Born and raised.
On the playground.
In the playground?
Most of your days.
Well, yeah.
Did you hear Uncle Phil died?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pour out some drinks. Yeah.
Tragic.
Okay. Tara says, I'm a student graphic designer and was wondering how I could translate improving on drawing and painting plateaus to the design world, since you can't really draw from reference to build upon your knowledge base. That's Tara from England. Do you need me to repeat that?
Please repeat that. I know you're freaking doing the whole thing. Let's listen. Let's pay attention, guys. Go ahead.
Oh, the chat keeps scrolling. I'm a student graphic designer and was wondering how I could translate improving on drawing and painting plateaus to the design world, since you can't really draw from reference to build upon your knowledge base. How you could translate improving on drawing and painting to the design world.
Oh.
I would use reference.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a graphic designer, so I'm sorry. I can't really say much.
Oh. I suggest utilizing all your resources, references included.
Yeah.
Most professionals.
You can use reality as just where you gather the information, just because everything is in reality. But it's mostly when you're taking the information from reality and adding it into your own work. So you're building up your visual library, seeing how certain materials work, what kind of texture it has, learning the lines and the shapes of everything. Basically, everything has a type of shape to it: the human body, structures, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I wonder if, Jet, you're going to let us finally answer this question, but it ties into one of our topics, and it's by Thony Felius. First of all, thanks a lot for your videos. Sycra helped me a great deal. Thank you. You're welcome. But when you are drawing for a while, do you know it's time for a break? And what is to be best things to do to take a break?
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, exactly. It could tie in. It could tie in. Could.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So when I know when it's time to take a break is when I feel like taking a break. Like when I feel tired, Mm-hmm. You can feel it. Your pen so slows down, your ideas become kind of bad.
Yeah. Yeah. When you draw for so long, you start to feel your fuel being spent. You know what I mean? You have this new sense where you're like you have a feel for. I don't know if it's the same for you. I have this like amount of fuel in my system, and I'm like, it's for drawing. And then after I draw for so long, and I'm like pumping out ideas, after a while your brain runs out of fuel, and you're like, why isn't it chugging out any more stuff? And I think that's a perfect time to take a break, walk away, relax. Even if it's just for like 10 minutes. When you walk back, you feel a little bit more refreshed.
See, I have the bladder of a small infant, and so I get up every like 15, 20 minutes.
You're doing good right now, Will.
Yep.
Are you wearing your Depends?
Because I'm wearing Depends.
You're taking care of your body, man.
And that's important too.
I take breaks pretty regularly, and that helps me keep recharged. But there are points where like I just kind of like I just know when the drawing's not working that it's time to like walk away, and but it doesn't have to be long. It could be like just running to the store to get a drink or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coming back with a different perspective.
Yeah, and for what constitutes a break, I think that probably depends on each person.
Yeah.
Everyone's a bit different, so what do you find is fun? I know sometimes, like for some people, they're really into video games, and just like playing video games for a while works, or people, food. So,
yeah.
Okay, so we didn't address the laziness issue, but let's talk about laziness, Jet.
Oh yeah.
Because
laziness is a big one.
You sound kind of lazy, Jet. Are you lazy?
I'm gonna pick up my slack, man. I'm lazy. Yeah, man. Sometimes laziness is a big issue in my life, and I think that's my New Year's resolution. I didn't say really what it was, but it's to go to sleep and make my sleep schedule more normal. Yeah. And crap. So,
Sorry, Eva said, seriously, Dr. Phil died? Not Dr. Phil, Uncle Phil. I just found that really funny.
Or
Not Dr. Phil.
not the mustache.
But yeah, I think it's because, like, the thing is, I guess, and I'm guilty of this, sometimes we artists make it sound like all we do is draw.
yeah.
And sometimes we get lazy.
Oh yeah.
I constantly
I know I get lazy and I procrastinate sometimes.
Yeah. Lose my hours in video games.
Yeah, no, and I think we're just trying to relate with you guys and, like, show you guys the truth and basically not paint a facade for you. And a lot of times with all the artists out there, it's all readily available and you can click on them anytime. And it just seems constant. It's a constant flow of work out there. And in reality, it's not. It's just everyone's doing, like, I will put my pencil down literally for like 3 weeks and before a new drawing comes out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, then a new piece comes out, a new drawing. If you look at my timeline, that's really what it is, and it may seem like I'm not lazy, but it's only it's an illusion. You know what I'm trying to say?
I can relate to going 3 weeks without doing a drawing, but it's probably been a couple years since I've been that way. Like now I draw every day.
Yeah.
But I don't do productive drawings every day. But I do, like, I sketch people everywhere I go. Like, I'll go, I'll drop my wife off in the morning, get breakfast, and I'll sketch people at the place I go to. And then I'll go to lunch and sketch people, and then I'll come home and do my illustration work, and then I'll go, pick up my wife. So I sketch a lot.
Yeah, that's nice, and that's why you're so damn good.
Yeah. If you're drawing constantly, then you're gonna get awesome.
Yeah, that's
are.
Well, and then lately, I did. Let's see. In November, I decided to fill up a whole sketchbook in 1 month.
Wow.
And I had a blast. Like, I have not had that much fun drawing in a long time, and I usually have fun drawing. So it, like, took it up to another level. And then afterwards, I started filling up those little moleskin sketchbooks, the, 40, 50-page ones. I filled up 4 of those in a month.
That's good.
In December. Yeah.
Remember what I told you, Sycra, about my sketchbook habits?
No, what did you tell me?
Said I've never completely filled a sketchbook in my entire life.
Yeah.
I always want to start
He
new
does
ones.
one a day. Jesus.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I've been there though. I've been where I could barely finish a sketchbook, or it would take years to finish it.
Yeah.
So I can relate to it. It's
I don't know, man. To tell you the truth, I've been that way my entire life.
yeah.
But I have another point.
Take your time.
No, you go ahead, man. Go, Jeff. I'll find.
No, it's okay. I was just
Your
comforting you.
picture's really epic, Jeff. I really like it. It's turned out super epic.
Yeah, man.
Oh, thanks.
Which one is it? Oh, nice.
Oh, thank you.
MZ Cat asks, do you guys often switch between traditional/digital, or is there one you strongly prefer? I can
Be a
answer
preference
for
for it.
myself. Traditional all the way for me. I totally prefer traditional.
Yeah. I think I'm the most free when I'm in traditional. It's like because I'm working on the computer. I have a tablet, so then it's like my hand is working somewhere down, and then I'm like, oh.
Well, it's got one hand below the keyboard.
Yep.
It's working somewhere down.
Yeah. Someplace real inconspicuous and comfortable. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah. So it's like I got to use my hand-eye coordination, and it's a bit uncomfortable. But when I'm working traditional, everything's within my eyesight, so then I can just draw whatever I want, and I feel perfectly in control.
Waiting for that Cintiq, eh?
Yep.
Have you heard about the Monotype tablet?
Yeah, I have heard about the Mono.
It's like a $400 Cintiq.
Indeed.
The reviews on it are really good.
But I don't know if it was that one or the Yenova that I was looking at, but it had like some really weird setup where it requires a VGA cable.
Yeah, that's the Monotype.
Okay. And then it's like, oh, that's going to be a pain because then you need a VGA adapter, and then eventually it's like, oh, this is just annoying.
Yenova doesn't require that, I believe.
Because we were looking at one, right, Bob?
Yeah.
It required like a VGA, and then it also required a USB extension because the USB cord wasn't long enough, and a whole bunch of stuff.
And it's like all the good stuff was in America, so that we couldn't actually order it.
Oh, that sucks.
Chung G5. That is such a weird English accent, Sycra. I know, I'm terrible at them now. I don't remember how to do one. Out of interest, has Bob Meatbag ever shown his face? I know what the other guys look like.
I apologize for that. I do not have a webcam, so I cannot show my face. But when I do, it will be a special occurrence. I'll share it with you all.
I was expecting you to see what you should do. Like when you actually like get on camera, you should wear like a luchador mask and never.
If you've seen Bob's channel, which if you haven't, I really recommend you do. But his logo in the beginning, that kind of looks like him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you head over to my channel, don't look at Humpty Dumpty. I've been told that it's very unpleasant.
Oh, there's so much of your stuff. The Fantastic Mr. Fox? Oh my god.
It's not that bad.
God.
Come on.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It really isn't. So yeah. I just imagine people going to their therapist talking about your channel.
It's over exaggerating. Come on.
And then he had his hand below the keyboard.
Nice. Okay, so Eva asks, have you ever had to deal with someone less skilled than you giving you advice/critique that is just not useful or incorrect?
I was just talking about this with my friend today about levels of skill and I guess ranking people by levels of skill and how I used to do that like when I was in my early 20s. And I used to think that was a good idea, and I was always looking for people with more, quote unquote, more skill than I had to give me critiques, and I was always an asshole. Here, I'm gonna switch cameras real quick. But yeah, so I was talking to my friend about this today. That I think it was about when I was 32, like I was talking about the age of man earlier. I decided what would happen if I decided that every person I met had something to teach me? Because I started looking at it like every person in the world has something that they're better at than I am, and that they're more gifted at than I am, and it's up to me when I first meet them to figure out what it is. So I like to ask people what their passions are, what they get excited about. And it changed not just my experience, but everybody I met. Like people started to respect me more and appreciate me more and want to contribute more. Because you got to give respect before you can get it, you know? And not just because you're better than somebody or your skill level is better than somebody. No, it's respect is all in the attitude. And I found I've been surprised by that. Like one of the earliest, like once I decided to do that, one of the first people I met was it was this really sweet guy who he was was really socially awkward. Like he had trouble making friends.
Is it me?
No.
Most of us.
And he was kind of he was so awkward that a lot of my friends were like, if that kid keeps hanging around, I can't hang out with him. I can't keep hanging out. Like it was that bad. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna try this attitude out. I'm gonna try and walk the walk. So I took him in and I started like I'll work with this kid and I'll teach him how to draw, how to do comic book stuff, but also like some social skills along the way. But what I found out was that he taught me more than I could teach him. Like he taught me everything. He knew everything about Photoshop, everything about Illustrator, everything about computers. He taught me all that stuff that I never could have learned on my own. And then he also taught me a lot about being a teacher and about being, a human being. And it really surprised me. So I've learned to never, hey baby, I've never learned to underestimate people and judge them by where their art talent is, because people can pass you. And if I stop drawing now, somebody that is quote unquote not as good as me can pass me in a few years. If I stop drawing. And I've had friends like that. There were friends that were like the best artists I knew in high school, and then they just stopped drawing. And it's somewhere along the way I passed them, and they still draw better than any high school kid I know, but they didn't evolve. So talent is a relative term. Like it has to do with your attitude and what you do with it. But that's my opinion.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. And I don't know. I don't think I've judged people on purely art for a while, but I start to, and maybe this also needs changing, but I start to just view people based on their personality a bit more. Or if they're a nice person, I just decided that I want nice people in my life.
That's good.
And so, I don't know, I just sort of don't have time for jerks anymore.
That's good.
So I stopped hanging out with myself, and it's been good.
Like, you deserve it. Like, you deserve to be treated with respect. You deserve to not be around assholes. I still have that attitude. Like, I don't. If somebody is a jerk, I don't let them get too much of my time. But I also am still a teacher, so I look at every time I meet somebody is a chance to bring love and to teach them. And especially if they're where I was at when I was, in my 20s, being a jerk and judging everybody. I'm thankful that somebody was patient with me and took time to be patient with me. And so when I run into somebody that has, it's somebody I would want to avoid normally. I try and remind myself, what is that? It's an Abraham Lincoln quote. It says, if you treat a man as he is, he'll remain as he is. But if you treat a man as he could be, he'll become what he should be.
Wow.
So it may not happen because of me, and it may not happen, while I know them, but I can bring love to them, and eventually, hopefully, it pays off down the road, and they can,
Yeah.
Totally.
Treating people with respect really pays off.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And disrespect really it leaves a sour taste in people's mouths for years.
Yeah.
And they talk bad about you and. Yeah.
I know what that's like.
Yeah, I had a few.
And back to the
experiences
question, taking advice from people who know less. It's like, dude, I take advice from my mom, my dad, my girlfriend, friends, everybody. I try to get input from people who aren't artists because I feel like they are really valuable. They see things as it is. And if they see something they don't like, they'll tell you. They're like, oh, that looks a little weird. And you're like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah, artists, I think we all do kind of get caught up in the technicalities of it and the science of it, and sometimes we just forget. It's like our work is, we're artists, we are creators, we're also entertainers, It's like, who are we entertaining? Well, everybody else. And then sometimes, we get really scientific. It's like, oh, look at the anatomy on this, oh, the perspective on that, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then we just get caught up in that. But it's like sometimes we got to remember that, we got to make it friendly for the audience at times. Make it appealing, make it so it's something that they can see it and feel something from it.
Yeah.
Well, and those are also that's also your target audience too.
Yeah.
You want to hear what people that are going to buy your products, or your drawings, or your comic books, or whatever. You want to hear what they think, whether it's good or bad, so you can tailor your experience to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're just doing it for yourself, and then if you're not listening, and you don't want to be by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We are social creatures. We need each other. Yeah.
Oh, and I am going to need
Oh, shoot.
another prompt.
Oh
Okay.
dear.
Okay. Draw a helicopter taco.
Helicopter taco. Possibly. All right. Any more?
Draw a little elven girly being. Okay, let's not finish that. Draw a Sycra in your girl outfit. That's just me normally everyday clothes, man.
You just don't see it the waist down.
And I haven't used Photoshop in forever, man. I feel like I put it away out of my life.
Me too. Yeah, I've really cut
Yeah?
back on Photoshop use. I like
Is it
mine
because you're manga studio? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I never answered that question earlier.
What was that?
Whether I use digital or traditional. I use digital for most of my commercial work because it's like 10 times faster. So like if I have an illustration or a comic book, like a freelance gig, I'll do it in digital. But most of my sketching that I do for myself or for fun, I do traditionally, just because I like the feel of it.
Absolutely, I agree. Same here. Simple.
I just tweeted out that this hippo drawing, if anybody wants to see it.
Yes.
So it's better. It's at WillTerrell. Twitter.com at WillTerrell. If you want to see the or / WillTerrell. If you want to see the higher res picture, I guess.
Nice. Nice.
Go see WillTerrell.
Still looking for prompts. Make Bob do one of his sexy Sunday things.
Oh.
That's the green Pikmin.
That's Sunday.
Have you seen his sexy Sundays?
No, but I'm imagining it, especially with the luchadora mask.
I must keep my face a secret.
my people need me to stay hidden because I'm scared.
Yeah.
No.
Theoni Filius, Thoni Filius? Thoni. Anyway, yeah, who's left-handed or right-handed here? Just wondering.
I am right-handed.
I'm right-handed.
I'm right-handed.
Yeah, me too.
We're all righties here.
We had someone who was left-handed, but
I think I started. Yep. You remember?
how was that for that guy?
Yeah. We can't have any variances in our group.
Okay, and I switched over to Rick for that.
Alex asked, do you guys ever have trouble getting the eyes, irises, and pupils to look right? Sometimes when I draw, especially at weird angles, the eyes look kind of derpy.
Derp, derp.
Doop doop.
I think if you handle the structure of like just the angles properly and just pay attention to the tutorials that we put out, it all has to do with kind of the positioning of the eyes in relation to the structure, that skull structure. So if you understand the basics, it'll all make sense. But definitely had that problem starting off. I think everyone did. Eyes like just weird, and you don't really know what it is until you understand how to break it down, and you're like, oh, you understand a little bit better how the eyes line up, kind of. So that's what I think. Anyway.
See, I have the opposite problem. I can't get my eyes to look derpy enough.
No, that's when you're going really advanced. You kind of start going the opposite way.
Yeah.
That's not when you've reached mastery.
Tim Hansen asks, how would you rank your art? Poor, mediocre, good, etc.
Poor.
Yeah, I think we're our worst critics. Definitely.
Mine is the best. Jeez, what are you guys talking about? It's like the greatest thing ever.
Jeez, Sycra! Tooting your horn.
Could you, are you, see, now I'm afraid of offending anyone, but I was going to make, okay.
Say
Well, too late.
Say it.
I was
Say
going to
it.
say, what do you feel about people that hang up their own artwork on their walls? Like,
Oh, I do that.
okay.
I do that. Yeah, I hang. Those are my drawings back there. Oh, you can see.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No,
I
that's
feel
supposed
like
to
I-
be Dragon Ball. Actually. I just don't have anything else to hang. my walls are empty.
Okay. What is your evaluation of those who feel that drugs are necessary to stimulate creativity? Said Slapstick.
Necessary?
Yeah.
Like steroids? That's gonna help you. enhance your drawing performance?
Well, I personally haven't used drugs to stimulate creativity, and I've been okay with that, I think.
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat, and I think that's a very small percentage of people who actually use like psychedelics and stuff to try to, stimulate their creativity.
I
I just saw your sexy Sunday. Jesus.
I hope you like it.
Oh, jeez.
From the comic book industry, I know I've been in the industry long enough to know some behind-the-scenes stories about some of my favorite artists that have done lots of drugs, and it's hit and miss. I'll say that. Like, Dave Sim's a good example. I remember seeing somewhere somebody had mentioned that they're like, how can you draw a comic book? He did Cerebus, by the way. How can you do a comic book while you're high? And he's like, I don't think I've ever done a comic book where I wasn't high. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But then he's also famous for like having this meltdown in the late 90s, early 2000s where he challenged Jeff Smith, the guy that did Bone. He challenged him to fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs?
Yeah, so he went through this like whole, it was like a 4 or 5 year period where like he ostracized half of his readership because he was like so anti-woman, like it was bad.
Oh.
And I've heard that behind the scenes he was like doing a lot of cocaine, and that's pretty much where it went. So, and it's from a very reliable source. And it explained, like, I actually feel better about him now. Like, he's not crazy. I thought he was crazy. It just turns out that he was, coked out of his head.
I fail to see a difference.
Right. Well, yeah. But anyways, I don't mess around with it. Like, I have a hard enough time getting out of bed anyways.
Add coke to that, and it becomes so much more difficult. Don't do drugs, kids. Stay in school.
Now, unless you count cherry pies and donuts, because that's my drug of choice.
Oh, that's the worst kind of drug. Sugar.
That's the best kind of drug.
One of millions asks. Oh wait, asks or yeah, I suppose. So I personally really like to draw human, regardless the art medium, but I don't really like drawing background, nature, still life, etc. I can draw that type of stuff fairly decent, but I just don't take any joy in drawing them. Is there any way I could possibly make drawing these things more entertaining?
Do them more? Like, you can't be good at something if you've never done it before, or especially if you haven't done it enough to, like, I mean, it goes back to that whole analogy. You can't expect to run a marathon if you can't walk a mile.
I was thinking about this earlier. We always compare it to sports and stuff, but like compare art to like video games. If you sit 2 people down, one person's been playing for like a year, he'd be more proficient at it than someone who just picked it up. But you don't get mad at the person for being better. You don't.
Yeah.
They've just been playing longer. I mean, it's the same thing with sports.
Except for those jerk video gamers who are like, noob!
Yeah. Exactly.
But I feel exactly the same way when I played video games and I saw those people as I do with art, where it's just like, you were a noob too. Like, what? It always aggravated me when I would play games and then one guy would be like hating on a noob because it's like, you suck, noob. And I'm like, but we were all in that position not long ago.
Right.
And I feel the same way about some adults who are like, I hate kids. Kids are so stupid. And I'm like, you were a kid. No, I was born fully formed out of my mother. She's dead
Ouch.
now.
Ouch.
Ow.
But it kind of shows the environment, doesn't it? It's like with those video gamers.
Oh,
it's
boy.
like.
How can you be talking with a straight face and drawing this?
Right.
The thigh-high tights is really selling it. I'm sexy.
Exactly.
Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Well, I was just saying that it kind of shows the environment that those video games are in, right? It's sort of like, oh, you're picking on the so-called noob, but you were a noob, so that means you must have been picked on as a noob as well. Well, that explains your whole environment, doesn't it?
Now, to be fair, have you ever tried to have a conversation while you're playing a video game?
Oh, that is true. Things become messy and competitive.
Yeah, it's sort of like, you're kind of like, yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom. 30 minutes later, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Will, you and your bladder issues, I'm the same way.
Oh. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go
Alright, alright.
So,
So for me, now that Will's gone, I'll say that I'm exactly the opposite. I don't like, I mean, I'm the same. I hate backgrounds, but I just don't do them.
Me too.
And the thing, no, you're doing kind of backgrounds, but my thing was just that I want to do something, like, okay, if I'm really, really good at characters, I'll be the character guy. And then people will want me to draw characters. But if I'm okay at everything, I'll be told to do everything, and then I'll have to do what I don't want to do. So it's probably better that I get really good at what I really enjoy than that I'm okay at everything.
So true. So true.
But I don't know. I mean, I can totally see Will's point of view as well, because he does comic books. So in comic books, you don't get away with that. It's not like, well, I'm just going to do the character, and then you have like assistants who handle the backgrounds, like in Japan. But no, it's going to be like, no, you gotta do everything. So
yeah.
I do think
That's a good point.
Once you get to a certain proficiency level, everything becomes more fun, though. Just being able to do things makes it more fun, and that's why art is so difficult, because it's like putting up with the drawing for a long time while you're not good, and having to live with that. And then when you do get better, it's like, okay, it's okay now.
Yeah.
All right. Creepy kid in a show. What do you do if you? That's her name. What do you do if you want to try out multiple genres of art when you go to an art school, but you can't find a school that would let you?
Huh?
I actually have the opposite problem, where I see that a lot of art schools want everyone to do everything.
Yeah.
What do you do if you want to try out multiple genres, but you can't find a school that would let you? I don't know. Maybe all the schools are different, so.
I think maybe peer pressure is what she's talking about. Maybe the school's kind of peer pressure in like, hey, you don't want to do anime. That's gonna ruin you.
Oh, I see.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
but I think
that.
it really is free up to your choice. If you want to do like.
You ran into that, right?
I kind of did, yeah. Kind of did. Well, but it was the peer pressure thing. In terms of learning from teachers, there were one or two teachers, definitely.
Yeah.
That treated it that way, but they don't matter. So you focus on the people that matter, and they kind of just, uplift you, do what you want to do, and then put your knowledge to use, whatever you learn in school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jack, can I say something? It's gonna be really, really like
dirty,
I don't know.
Inappropriate. Sexual harassment.
No, it's a critique.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
The ear's really bothering me. It looks like the ear is coming. Like if I see the
I get it.
Origin, yeah, okay.
You're freaking right. No, you pointed it out. See, thanks. You're helping me, dude. All right.
Oh, that's looking nice, Chet.
You feel me?
Sorry,
Thanks,
Jack.
dude. No, look, that's a perfect example. Now I'm gonna go cry.
Don't cry, Jed.
No, but thanks. No, thanks. Seriously, that was so. Like, look what Sycra just said. He just pointed something out, and he noticed with the ears, and I didn't see it. You kind of get tunnel vision after a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I know you know how to draw. That's why I feel like kind of awkward, but it's like I
say.
Oh,
Okay.
What?
So
did you see it?
It's a skull. Will, I didn't know you were a serial killer.
So starting off, basically what my ear was based off my foundation, like my starting drawing. I kind of just sketched, and then Sycra pointed out the ear was basically stuck in the side of his cheek. Our ears are not. And yeah, I didn't see that, so and then I just fixed it by oh shit. Oh no. It's okay. I just gotta fix it.
Will, you lost a lot of weight.
Oh, what? What happened?
Oh, wow.
Where's Will? I have to turn off the thing.
Are you still
Hold on,
waiting
man.
for another Oh, God.
Oh,
no. Oh, no, Jeff.
What?
has
Jeff.
happened? Your picture is really like, oh my god. So if you're looking at Jeff's picture and you're thinking like, oh boy, I'd love to see more stuff like that. That's what Jeff's channel is all about.
It's friendly for everybody, especially for the kids. Bring them along too. It'll be a learning experience.
That's awesome, dude. See, and I think Jeff is a great example of like creativity. He is insanely creative, man.
No.
Yeah.
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 This is all I do, man. This is all I do.
Well, somebody can be like, really orthodox in tradition and fine arts and really nice, like with anatomy and all the understanding of light and shadow and stuff. But if you have creativity, you can tell a story.
You can make little kids cry. Artifacts9 says, yo, dog, how do you switch from semi-realistic to realistic? My characters look like comic stuff, but I want it to look like concept art. Peace. Well, what do you think?
Tell him, Will.
Yeah,
Okay.
Will.
Okay. I hear Will. Whoa, kids! What I like to do is... Oh, that's not a good Will.
Will, are you high?
I think you've got to look at. For me, I tend to look at my tendencies. So, for instance, when I was in high school, I would draw anime a lot, so I had to really keep shrinking the eyes and looking at reference more and getting used to what I'm doing that is making things look semi-realistic compared to realism. Just look at reference a lot and compare your stuff.
Yeah. But I think that anime is a great starting point for like, I don't know, for me anyway. I felt like it was a good starting point.
I think for me it's a good ending point because I did anime and then I quit anime and now I'm doing pretty much close to anime again.
Yeah.
And I realize that that's always. I mean, so many times we do this thing and I see it a lot where it's like you graduate from what you were doing to a more quote unquote high class thing where it's like I used to draw comics and then I drew anime and then I became a real artist and I did paintings. And for me, anime was always fun. And then when I started going back to it, it's like, oh yeah, I wanted to draw anime. There's nothing wrong with that. So
Exactly.
I wanted to draw. Well, I didn't want to draw it, but Gummy Bears is the reason I started the TV show.
I couldn't draw them, so I just ate them.
No, I love the TV show. I love the storytelling.
My teachers from animation school worked on that show.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
It doesn't really matter. It's like sort of a random fact. Was it you with the skull, or was it Will? Was it you with the skull, or was it your wife?
What skull?
So it was your wife.
Oh.
What wife?
Oh, the skull was his wife. Oh,
I
now
knew
I see
it.
what happened. Oh,
Behind
no.
that baby face lies the looks of a killer.
It totally would match, right? Like he's in a movie, and it's like underneath that beret is an evil mind.
And his cute little laughs are actually maniacal laughters of evil.
We should have
Whoa.
known.
All along.
You go to the neighbors. He seemed like such a nice guy, but when we talked to him, he'd always say he was from Lubbock, and we'd be like, huh, he don't sound quite right, because we were all from Lubbock.
No, she's fine. She's in the other room making dinner.
That's good.
He is not a skull.
She is not a skull. Yet. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
Okay. Delofasht says, I wanted to touch with everyone that I feel like I've been improving a ton recently, and mostly it's because I spend a lot of time thinking about why I'm drawing things. Like, I spend less time drawing than a lot of people, but the time I do spend is spent very intensely focused on why I'm drawing any particular thing. Like, if I'm trying to draw a face, I try to understand the planes of the face, why a shadow is where it is at, and things of that nature. That's good. That's good.
Good job, Jellofish.
Good job, Delafashed.
Steiner Arts says, asks, will any of you guys be at the comic festival in Erlangen this year? Gosho Aoyama was there some time ago. I will not. I don't know where Erlangen is, so I definitely will not.
Oh, Erlangen. Yeah, I've been there.
Have you?
No, I have not.
Ah,
Someday.
you scamp. You little scamp, you.
I told a fib.
Tell them.
Joshua Stein, another German here. P.S. Just brought Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, an atlas of human anatomy for the artist a few moments ago. I really liked that book. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Happy for the knowledge that you are going to imbibe. Is that the right word? I don't know. I'm an artist, not a writer.
This is my first art book that I ever studied from.
Georgy Slavov says, Will, you're so cute with your babana costume. I think he means banana costume. Anyway, question for you. Have you ever tried digital drawing, and what do you think about it?
Actually, I was going to digital draw right now.
Oh, snap. That gloves.
Depends on how slow my computer is.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. There it is. Will this work? Is that working? How slow is that?
It's okay. Okay. Draw something.
All right,
It's not too bad. It's
There
not
you
too
go.
bad.
I like it all right.
Fingalificated asks or says or whatever, when I think my drawings aren't good enough, the thing is I think it's lacking story. Uh-oh, as Will calls it. What the people I draw are doing. I struggle a lot with that, and one, I'm not sure if I even should worry about that yet, age 17. I don't know what that has anything to do with. Or just keep drawing like Sycra keeps saying, and two, I've no idea how to quote-unquote story. You're all awesome, by the way, and I'll do to sleep soon as it's almost 2 a.m. Yeah, you should get some sleep. Yeah, so I mean...
Let's sing him a lullaby. Go to sleep, dream of sexy Sunday drawing.
Oh, God. Yeah, because I think me and Will would say different things on this topic, so...
I am not mean.
I never said you're mean.
You said mean Will.
I said me and Will.
Oh,
Fine. Will and I. Grammar police.
Oh, look who's talking.
Oh, go ahead. I interrupted. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, what's your advice? Because I would give a different advice than you, so I think we're
okay.
at different ends of the spectrum on this one.
So, I was at CTN last month, or I guess the month. Oh my goodness, this year has just gone fast. And I saw a lot of portfolios at CTN, a lot. And I gave a lot of critiques to people. And the main critique I gave to people, because there's a lot of artists, like a lot of them that were way better than me, my main critique was like, what's missing is you need to tell a story with these drawings. And like what you'll notice when you're walking through a convention like that is that it starts to turn into noise. Like all you see are these amazing drawings everywhere you look, like from some of the best artists in the world. And even those drawings start to look dumb after a while. Not dumb. What am I talking about? They turn into noise. Like you don't see it. Nothing stands out anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like out of all these amazing drawings, nothing stands out anymore because they're all amazing, except for the handful, like 1 or 2 drawings that tell a really good story. That's what stands out. And so that's what you're looking for. It's not necessarily like you don't have to tell a story with every single drawing you do, but it's real simple. Like just 2 characters talking can be a story. 2 characters or a character ordering something at a restaurant can be a story. And going that little extra step with it makes that drawing more interesting than if it's just a character posing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I totally agree with story, but I do think it's like one of the it's not the first thing you deal with. Like I do think, for me anyway, I'm treating it like I get proportions right, and then I'm trying to do the human body, and then I'm going to go into clothing after that, and then I'm going to go into story because I don't think I can even handle that. So when I do have story and I get ambitious, what I tend to do is I get caught up in the basics because it's like, oh, but my anatomy's off, and then I feel discouraged, and then I start to just feel like, oh, I can't do this, and then I get a bit like down on myself. So I think for me, I'm not at the stage yet that I should be dealing with that, but I do think it is definitely important, and it's something I for sure want to get to doing. And it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Story.
I was gonna say it's
also.
good to have differences, but I don't think it's really differences. I think it's more like, for me, I wouldn't go to a convention unless I was happy with what I was doing, and that would need to be after I've got some story down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it was for most of the part. That was the context of it. Like, you can tell on the expression on their face, like they were fried. These people I'm giving critiques to, they're fried because they've seen so much amazing stuff out there, and they're thinking to themselves, how can I possibly compete with all this stuff out there? But when you point out that even some of those amazing artists, their stuff doesn't stand out either, because they're not telling a story. It helps give them something that they can focus on. Like, that's something to work towards. Like, you can tell a story with stick figures and make it more interesting than like a really beautiful posed character.
Who's that animator that he just does stick figures?
Don Hertzfeldt.
Yeah, Don Hertzfeldt. Yeah,
that guy's awesome.
So it depends. So that's why I try and emphasize focusing, like this sketch I'm doing here. This character, just putting his hand, where he's thinking, like that adds a little bit more story to it than if it's just a character posing.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary looking.
Mind you, but you got to know how to do the hand, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's my point. Like, it's hard to do story when you can't. And I know what you're saying, like even with a stick figure. But I mean, if in your mind your idea is not a stick figure, then it's sort of like,
Well, isn't it sort of like you have a story to tell? Now it's like, we all have our ideas of stories. So then now it's all about how well can you tell that story.
Right.
I think it's easy to go back to the analogy of grammar, where it's like, of course, first you learn the grammar and the language, then you start writing with it.
Yeah.
But I suppose you could start writing even when you haven't got a good grasp of the language, just because.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's sort of like there's all sorts of different ways of doing it, right? There's really no set path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a furry, Jet?
It's a beast man.
Is it Jet as a furry?
Yeah, it's me.
Come on, Jed. It's okay. We talked about this before.
Are you Zoo?
I know.
Yeah. Are you?
Am I Sue?
Yeah.
Is that a phrase? Oh no.
It's a terrible one.
It means something else. We'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. See, I had the most. I was at a show in San Antonio back in June, and I saw the most disturbing evolution of the furry, the Yarny.
What?
What's that?
It's somebody dressed like a furry made out of yarn.
Oh.
Oh no!
So it has all the creepiness of a furry without all the charm of actual fur. It looks
Right.
it looks like your grandmother cross-stitched something, you know. It's
Oh,
like
boy.
your grandmother cross-stitched the furry animal costume for you.
Hey, but hey, to all the furries out there, more love to you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm not a furry.
Okay.
But
Uh-huh.
power to
Yeah.
the furries.
When I don't shave, I'm a furry. Um. um. Okay.
That's true.
John Thompson
True
says
statement.
Jeff's channel is the tits, which I suppose is a good thing. And
Yes.
Toxic Imperialism says, I was expecting Bob Meatbag to say, sorry, I don't have a face.
You're right, I don't, and you'll never see it. And if you do, I'll have to eat you.
Shiny Spartan. Sycra, did you say Kim Jong-gi finishes a sketchbook every day, or did I hear that wrong? Is that even possible? He said he did
Yes.
that when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, I believe it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe it.
I finished a sketchbook in a day several times.
Really? What did you do? Like one little scribble on each side of the page?
No, it was pretty full. It usually
takes me an hour to finish a page. I don't get it. I don't get how people are so fast.
You're thinking too
Sycra,
much.
I'm right there with you, buddy. I'm right there with you.
I'm thinking too much, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know how to not think. I'm not one of those talented people.
Oh, don't say that. You should make it a goal to do it. Like, try and just do terrible drawings and fill up an entire sketchbook. Like,
Dude,
don't-
that's all I do. Come on, I'm there.
and I'm not talking about one of those thick sketchbooks. This is like a 50-page sketchbook.
Oh, I don't have one of those.
Like the Moleskine, the small Moleskine packs.
Right. Right. Okay, I'll try. Scarlock1 asks, I wanted to ask you about games and playing, how do you live with that? I'm asking about time management, etc. For me, it was usually looking at streams so I won't get sucked in. Also, do you know any hardware to draw outside, but not that expensive like Wacom Companion? If you do, could you give me some links?
What was it? Oh, video games?
Time management, how do you, how do you manage your time with playing video games, I suppose? And then any hardware to draw outside. I know my phone is pretty good. I have like a Samsung Galaxy S4, and it's pretty good with drawing. But I've
Did you
heard.
say how to balance your gaming with drawing?
I think
the
like
question?
gaming in your life, how to
Oh.
have an artist's life and also play games. I think.
Yeah, I didn't have to deal with that. I own a lot of games, as Sycra knows.
He owns a lot of games and plays none of them. Except for what, Dragon Force?
Dragon Force. It's the best game in the world. For the Sega Saturn.
I think, Bob, you give yourself time limits, right?
Yeah. Before what I did was I locked away all my consoles and then so I wouldn't play them because I was pretty addicted to games.
Yeah.
If there was one thing that could lift my day up and bring joy to my life, it was video games. But
Aw.
eventually, you had to pick. It's like, well, do you want to play video games and then not have anything to buy food with and to live under? Then it's just sort of like, I had to make that sacrifice, and it's just like it was a tearful goodbye. But it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to lock you away for an untold amount of years. You're not gonna be seeing any light for a while. So there's that. But I had a pretty strong video game addiction, so it's just like I need to see video games, any kind of video game. So I really got into Let's Plays.
Oh,
It's like,
that's what I've been hooked on lately.
yeah, and it's like it's sort of like one of the things it does is sort of like there's when you're playing video games, there's certain parts that's really boring to watch, but when you're playing, it's like, oh, it's awesome. But since you're only watching, it's sort of like, okay, I'm bored. So what I did was sort of like I just like if a new game came out and I'm really interested in it, I'd watch it, but I'd skip any parts that are boring, so that cuts down a lot of the time as well. And afterwards, it's just sort of like, okay, my video game urge to play games reduces, and I didn't have that problem anymore. And that's how I sort of dealt with that. But now I am playing video games again, but it's just, I've been doing art for like quite a while now, and I haven't played video games in so long that it's sort of like, okay, I can control myself now. So I try to restrict myself to an hour a day at least to play one video game. And
At
afterwards,
least?
it's like, yeah, at least it has to be 1 hour.
No, at most.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, no, that depends. Like, I know this is a bad excuse, but sometimes I play for an hour and then there's no save point anywhere, so I have to go to a save point.
Well, that's just common sense. You can't do nothing about that, man. No one's gonna
Yeah.
hold that against you.
So that's what I do.
Okay, Chung J5 says, I really respect Will's attitude to everything, especially about people who aren't as good as you. It's pretty amazing. Huge respect to that guy.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're a great guy, Will, when you aren't a psychopathic killer.
Yeah, that's true.
Eva Verhej says, I really didn't mean to be a jerk, haha. Oh, this is a critique one? It's just that someone gave me advice critique on a certain skill in drawing in which I was more advanced than him or her. They were more skilled in other areas. I just found it hard to explain to him/her that I really didn't know what to do with the tips that they gave me because I made a style choice and that person tried to teach me a different style of drawing that didn't appeal to me.
Oh, I didn't mean to make her think that I was picking on her or anything.
Yeah. I think, style is one of those things where it's a little bit different than a critique, I feel. It's like, because style is so subjective. I mean, if someone says something like, your perspective's wrong and that's important to you, then yeah, And what I do think is, when someone does critique my style, which has happened, I don't think, for instance, okay, so a real life example is I was doing chins that were very pointy. People are saying, it looks weird with a pointy chin. The thing is that I was like, I want to keep the pointy chin, but what I have to understand is they're saying lose the pointy chin and it will look more right. And it's like, okay. So it's not that the pointy chin is that I have to change it, it's that it's not working. So what I'm trying to do is not working. So how do I do it? How do I get what I want and make it work? And then I had to realize, like, you have to change the shape of the face. You have to add more sharp things everywhere. Like, if you're going to have a chin that pointy, then the elbows have to kind of get pointy, the hair has to get pointy, the nose has to get a bit more, like, everything has to balance. So their critique was not to do that, but it doesn't mean that that's what was wrong. You know what I mean? Anyway,
Right.
Sorry, go ahead, Will.
One thing I like about you is that you take critiques and you try them out. You try them on for size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, that was an interesting idea, but I don't think it's what I need right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a healthy attitude towards taking critiques.
Yeah. And also when it comes to style, it's, once again, it is really subjective, but it's also sort of, for me, style is really showing the personality of the artist, how they interpret the world and everything. And then when it comes to that, it's just sort of like, it's really hard to critique that because it's all about what you prefer, right?
Right.
Yeah. John Thompson says, Jeff should draw a bear getting chased up a tree by a little girl.
I can do that.
Amiro R says, drugs are bad, okay. Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad, okay.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Jensen Chung says, Sycra, how did you end up meeting Jet and Will?
Well, I grew up with Sycra, so.
I think with both Jet and Will, I was subscribed to their channel before I met them, and then it was sort of a thing of, I don't know if it was that I left comments on their page, or I think with Will that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then
and I was like, who's this guy? And then everybody's like, your comment got more comments than my video did. And I was like, okay. And then you messaged me later, and you're like, hey, you want to hang out sometime? I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. And then
yeah, same with me.
I think inside I was just a fan of them, and then when they talk to me, it's like, oh my god, let's make something happen.
I like it.
Delofash says, to person wanting to make drawing things that generally do not interest you actually interesting, what is it that you love about drawing people? For me, it's the why light and shadow fall in the forms that make up the face and body. All objects in the world are the same in that respect. Focus on the elements of a painting that you like, or try turning your faces and bodies into trees or grass or rocks. That's interesting, because when I was doing painting, and I had to do still life, and I was learning from a guy who was teaching me oil painting, he would set up like an apple and an egg and maybe like a metal tin. And of course the exercise is really about painting different materials and lighting and, you know, learning how to handle your colors and values. But what he would say is that think of the relationship with them, and then he would say, like, look at the egg, look how it's looking towards the apple, like the apple's his big brother taking care of him, and the metal is the mom watching over the, like, he makes stories, and it's like instantly, like, I don't know why, but instantly it became 1,000 times more interesting, and you start to look at things like inanimate objects take on like a sensitive quality.
Dude, so this is exactly what I was talking about with telling a story with your drawings.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, Will, you're right. Like, it's not at all that I disagree with you. It's just that you say, like, do story, and then what I did is I went in my sketchbook and I was so pumped up, and I'm like, I'm gonna do story, yeah. I got my head and I closed my eyes first, and I'm like, okay, let's imagine a scene in my mind, yeah. And then I'm like, okay, what's the aspect ratio? It's 60:9. This is film, and then. So there's a guy and he's standing. No, he's not just standing. He's waiting. What's he waiting for? He's waiting for his girlfriend. She didn't show up. Oh, jeez. Yeah, he must be pissed. It's like, anyway. So then I get all this.
You finished and you had to take a nap afterwards. You were so tired from dreaming up the story.
I'm telling you, storytelling.
Yeah, and then I got tired, so I had to sleep.
No, but that's a great point from Will. I mean, because like. When I was drawing this, I started off, his hand was just laying down like this in the beginning. His hand was just like that. He was just a dude on the rock.
Yeah.
And I said, and it didn't say much. It's just a dude on a rock, you know. So I said, you know what? Let's just do something, and it can be something as simple as, you know, give him an apple, and, you know, people would like think of like, give him a sword, right? That's so like mundane and overdone, you know, violence, right? So I'm just like, how about we just give him an apple, and he just took a bite. So
that really did. That adds a whole other level to it.
And that's storytelling. You know, it's not like, hey, he went to the post office, got the machine guns, but then a clown came in with the knife.
You know what's awesome is that Norman Rockwell could probably pull that off. Like, he'd have it, and it would be like, oh, there's still like a stamp that is on the ground from when he.
I'm surprised that there isn't a modern Norman Rockwell that like does parodies of Norman Rockwell style. Because like, what kind of it would be people of Walmart now. Norman Rockwell, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it would. It totally would. And they'd be shopping. It would be like the Black Friday thing. They'd be trampling each other.
Yeah, but it would be Norman Rockwell.
It would be Norman Rockwell, so they'd all be like caricatured slightly.
I like it, but yeah, that's the one with the apple, the character with the apple. If you want to like take it to a whole other level, put another character in there, responding to the apple, not to the character, but to the apple.
Yeah, response. You need somebody to relate.
You could put an apple, like the worm in the apple, right? But it's half eaten, and then another worm on the rock, looking at the worm, like freaking out, like that was my husband.
Oh.
All right. So a worm on the rock, and then
a half-eaten worm that's half in the apple and half in his mouth.
Oh my goodness,
that's Bob Meatbag material right there. No, you don't have to do it.
That's a sad story. Let's
see here. I was thinking it would be like another character that was hungry,
or that, you know.
Ooh, or a horse, a lizard horse.
A lizard horse.
A lizard horse is a really good idea. I would love to see you guys
the lizard
draw
horse
a lizard
is like
horse.
the lizard horse is licking its lips like that looks like a good apple.
Okay, lizard horse lurking in the back.
Everyone do lizard horses.
I bet there's a good half-eaten worm in that apple.
Uh-oh, oops.
Crazy Doodler asks, what is a good way of getting used to drawing with a tablet and Photoshop, or do you recommend any other program for computer drawing? Oh, I know the answer to this one. The way I did it was I did life drawing for 3 hours. It's not really life drawing. It's like, it was at the time Postmaniacs, but now I'd probably do any other sort of figure drawing. But I just did it 3 hours a day, every day. After a while, you get good. Like, just devoting time into that, it's...
Exactly.
You just get good at it.
It's like what we've been talking about with the video games and the sports, and it's just sit down, put some hours down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at me. How many hours did I, you know what I mean, play the video game, or how many times did I use the Wacom pad? I mean,
yeah,
just practice.
Just practice. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I get that it's really annoying and painful in the beginning, because I think for most people it is.
Yeah, but and also there are techniques and kind of like, you know, tools you can use to help make it better, and techniques where you like zoom in, kind of really close, and just practice. So there's ways you can kind of learn.
There is a guy called MoteDD who has a lot of tutorials on
that's my biggest piece of advice with drawing on the tablet, though, is even though you can zoom in really tight, you don't have to zoom in really tight, especially if you're sketching out something. You know, stay pretty like zoomed out instead of like, because that was my problem with doing digital before, is I would like get really tight in there and do tiny little sketch marks, and it would take forever, and it wouldn't look good overall.
Yeah, and that would kill all your time. Like, most of your learning comes from your brainstorming and your sketches. And I feel like once you go into the inking process, you're basically practicing the hand-eye coordination part of it, not so much the principle building and the idea building, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, that's why I feel like, yeah.
Abby Boo says, just out of curiosity, how many years of experience do you all have?
That depends.
I've been drawing since I was a
like,
kid. Does that count?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, it's like
mean...
and I can't even say like, oh, but do you mean serious? Because there's been so many times in my life where I thought I'm serious now, and then it's like the next month, oh, now I'm serious, or the next year, now I'm really gonna be serious.
Exactly. Yeah, we all go through that.
Just changes.
If you want to talk about schooling, it started for me. I started art school, I think, when I was 23. Yeah, when I was 23.
I was 27 when I went to art school.
Oh, 21. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. You got any comments on that, Will?
I've been drawing professionally for about 8 years now, but I've been doing comics since I got out of high school.
Right.
So it's been 17 years. Golly.
Pretty much your whole life, man.
Yeah. But I didn't draw much before that. I mean, I sketched, but it wasn't very good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you were going to be a writer, right?
Yeah, that was my original goal. I wanted to write comic books, not draw them.
Shiny Spartan, serious question. Could you guys explain the health risks with using oil paint? Like, if I avoid terp and any dilution, does the paints like cadmium still pose a health hazard? Do you guys use oil paints?
Not since school, man. But
yeah.
I mean, for me, I would say that just make sure you have a well-ventilated room, because that was my thing. Is you have to make sure if you're using and like mineral spirits, they might not smell, but you need to have ventilation, because that does not mean they're not toxic. And cadmium, I know for us there was a lot of banned paints, like lead white we couldn't use, although it's apparently really awesome. But yeah, cadmium is toxic, but you don't. I don't ever worry with that. Just make sure you wash your hands and take care of your brushes. It'll be okay, I think.
Wired up.
Okay, MZCat, what would you say to those who believe that art isn't a, in quotation, real job?
Do people even say that anymore, or is that...
Just show them your paycheck, right?
Mm.
Well, if it gives you money, then it's technically a job, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's the use in arguing? Just do it and prove it.
Right.
I don't even get, like, why would that put you down if art's not a real job but you're getting paid to do it? It's like, okay, it's not a real job. It's like someone says, like, you're eating food and they're like, that's not real food. It tastes good.
Yeah.
And it fills my stomach, so I'm fine eating this fake food then, I suppose.
I had a very unfortunate falling out with a friend recently. Not it wasn't anything that I wanted. Like, they just had a breakdown of some sort, and he ended the friendship by saying, like, I hadn't done anything for I was all talk and I hadn't done anything for comic books professionally ever in my life, and I'm like, I've been I'm making a living at this for a while. Like, the whole time you've known me, like.
You said that you haven't done anything for the comic book industry?
Yes. I mean,
and I'm happy that you're all talk, because your talks are amazing.
Right. Well, I haven't done anything, like famous people might have heard of, or, I'm just making enough to get by. But I've been making a living with it, and so it was one of those, like, I didn't feel like arguing over it. Like, okay, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, it can be hard. It can be hard, though. That's a serious question. I mean, like, because it's a concern by people like your parents and stuff. They're like
That's
worried
true.
about you too.
I mean, that's a different thing though, because that's just they're worried, right? That's all.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But I feel like if they invest in that worry, they're investing in your kind of failure, kind of
Right.
And you want support. You need to surround yourself with support and supportive people. So that's what we're here for,
I will help you.
Yeah.
Half Monochromy asked, what should I do when I'm always too tired to draw or not motivated? In brackets, I'm also clinically depressed. Does anyone have experience with that?
I think...
Guess what, Half Monochromy? Me too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'm not even kidding, guy. I'm clinically depressed. And I also have social anxiety disorder, general anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, dissociative identity disorder, and some other stuff. But it's like, I think a lot of artists actually struggle with depression, and it's sort of one of those behind-the-scene things that a lot of artists. I mean, I've heard this thing about actors where a lot of actors come from houses of broken families where, like, the parents either are divorced or maybe a parent died. And I think the thing with art is so many artists were, and also things like bullying. So many artists were the kid who's in the class just drawing, and there's a reason. Sometimes the reason isn't I love drawing. The reason might be I have no friends, or I want to escape the world. My situation at home is unbearable.
Yeah,
and I need to get to an imagination fantasy world, and drawing helps me get there.
Somewhere you can control.
Exactly.
Right on.
So I want you to know that the main thing is that you're not alone, for sure. Especially in the art world, I think there's a lot of people who do suffer from things like this. I think Cynics also mentioned, Cynics Design, he mentioned that he has to take medication and things. So.
Yep.
Dealing with being tired or not motivated, that one's tough. But what I've learned to do is sort of forgive myself. Because what I would do is often beat myself up all day and say, these other people are working way harder than you. You're a loser. What are you doing? You're just wasting time. Why don't you draw right now? And the more I beat myself up, I'm not drawing. I'm just like saying horrible things to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So what I decided is, and I do this I do this more now, but it's this philosophy of whatever I do, I'm going to do it well. So if I'm being lazy, I'm giving myself permission to be lazy, and it's like I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to be so freaking lazy. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep the heck out of this. And then I'm going to play video games. Yeah, I'm going to really play video. Like don't tell yourself I shouldn't do this or should. I think that's a really horrible word. It leads to places you don't necessarily want to be, because what happens is when you say you should or shouldn't, it's like, well, that's not necessarily true, and it's killing the motivation. But when you're really doing what you want, so for instance, if I procrastinate for the whole day, I might think like, oh, I really want to play video games, but then instead it's like, no, I should be drawing, and in the end I do no drawing, and I didn't play video games. Instead it's like, I really want to play video games. Okay, I'm going to play video games, and then I play video games, it's like, I feel like drawing, so then I'll draw, right? Like, anyway, that's just my way of dealing with things.
Yeah.
Sorry for hijacking the whole thing. You guys
No, it's fine. It's turning
Stop giving
art.
advice, Sycra.
Stop it! You're helping people. No. Turning art into a positive thing that's usually the best way to go about it. Because when you add stress, to go like, well, for me, it's like whenever I get really stressed, it's like, oh, I got to do those kind of stuff. I get productive temporarily. The negative feeling puts a fire under my ass, but it goes away so quickly. And it's like, then if you keep on trying to pump yourself with negative energy to do art, it's sort of like in the long term, you'll eventually stop. That's what happened with me, I think. And then it's like I had to make it so that I enjoyed doing it, and that helps in the long term. Because if it's just like negativity every day, then it's like it's the same as depression. You fight it every day. You fight, and it costs so much energy, and it's so exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah, and some people do that with getting angry with themselves. Like they said, they use angry energy to motivate themselves, and it sort of works, but then they get burnout. Like I never see people who use angry energy that don't end up with burnout.
Yeah.
So, gotta be careful.
No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. 4006 says, what is the best way to draw? Visualize exactly what I'm going to draw in my mind before drawing it, or start drawing and make it up as I go. I find it difficult to visualize before drawing.
Hold on a sec. Visualize before you go, or just start drawing?
Yeah. The question is, should they visualize before they start drawing, or make it up as they go?
That depends on your own personal preference. I mean, like, there's people out there who just sort of like they see everything in their mind before, and then all they do is just sort of they draw on the page, and they just go like, oh, I've already seen everything. Now, Kim Jong-gi is a really big example. He sees everything, but even he sort of finds things on his way, and that's for me as well. I have a vague idea of what I'm going to do, and then everything else is sort of just a process of finding it or creating accidents. But it all depends on whichever one you prefer, or whichever one you're more proficient at. But if you're trying to say, like, oh, I want to get better at either visualizing or just going with the flow, then just do whichever one. If you want to go with visualizing first, go with visualizing first.
Yep. Yeah, and it also can depend on like if you have like an assignment, right, for homework or for a job, then you have instructions to follow, and then that's your direction. But for me, for example, this guy here, I was doing this to try to test my Wacom pad and the lag that I was having, and I just kind of discovered as I was going from an arm muscle to a head. None of this stuff was planned, and yeah, so it just depends what the circumstances are.
Yeah,
I just wanted to show off. No, I'm just kidding.
This
is cute. I like the bear. Oh, that's adorable.
Oh, thanks. Too bad it's gonna come crashing down soon.
Oh. Can't you just leave it being adorable?
I can't.
H. Metalmosh says, what books do you guys say that I should get for studying human anatomy?
I think you should go draw people in life, not a book. But if you got to get a book, get Andrew Loomis's Figure Drawing for All It's Worth.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
I made a video about all the stuff I recommend.
I recommend Sycra's video on his recommendations for what resources to get.
But Andrew Loomis is amazing. Sophie Roro. So I draw and draw. I've been drawing digitally for 3 years, and I'm 13. Wow, you started early. That's scary, isn't it? There's going to be like kids that are like 4, and they've already started using the tablet, so it wouldn't even be weird for them.
Yeah, and they're sitting here watching us. Like, where were we when we were 13?
Right. I was picking my butt.
Oh man, I was smelling Will's finger.
Ew! That was you.
Oh my, that explains why your fingernails are always brown.
Ew! I don't like where this is going.
Fast forward.
It's the worst thing to forget, right? And then you pick your nose.
Yeah.
But I hate everything I draw until I get it right. I guess I have a head full of ideas, and half of the time I can't transfer them onto the paper. Am I too critical about my art? What I tell my family is that I'm in an art block all the time till I break through and get it, but then I can't draw anything else the rest of the day.
Oh, that's a statement.
You're being very hard on yourself, I think. To say that you get it right half of the time, that's awesome. I wish I got it right half of the time. Like, that would be a huge improvement. I think I get it like 1 in 10, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just understand that that's part of the process. You don't always get the good drawing. It's fine, you know? Put down your mileage. So, yeah, you have a bad drawing, and then you do another one, then you do another one. Eventually you'll end up with stuff you like, but I don't know. For me, anyway, it's a struggle.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right. Okay. Mihai Kozma. I think I represent a minority here since I am not an accomplished artist and not trying to become one. I just draw for fun as a hobby. Have a career in a completely unrelated field. It's kind of bad because I had to come to terms with the fact that I won't be as good as other people out there that do this full time, but on the other side, I'm never forced to draw what I don't want to draw. I think this is a huge thing. I'm quite okay with drawing things now, but I suck at painting stuff. Even if I did study a lot of color theory, any advice on that side of things? Well, I think it's fantastic that you're just doing what you want to do. Like, that is so good. There's so many times where someone will contact me saying, you know, how do I become a professional? And there is this feeling of some people, they're not suited for it. It's like, you'd probably be better as a hobby, because...
Yeah.
And I think that's totally fine. The most important thing, I think, is that you're having fun drawing. And then everything else is whatever. You know, if you do it professionally, okay. And if you don't, it's okay. And then advice on painting is, if you suck at painting, you're going to have to paint. Mm-hmm. Sorry if that's oversimplistic, but that's pretty much it. Danny Smith, Jet, what moved you towards anime/manga, and what animes did you watch?
What moved me towards it? My anime watching career ended probably like middle school time, and I think that's where a lot of my like inspirations come from, like that '90s anime. And I watched like Evangelion was like my favorite, and Dragon Ball Z, and even Pokemon, and really limited. Like, those were really the only animes I've ever watched.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. From my style, where did I get it from? I just prefer the appeal of it, and looking at all the other artists, and as well as the a lot of like, you know, Korean artists, a lot of the illustrators that for video games and stuff, the work that they put out, that's the stuff where I get my style and inspiration from like today. but I do pull from my old library from when I was a kid because I try to stay true to what I enjoy. You know what I mean? Because if you're trying to impress people and do things that you don't enjoy, you're not gonna have fun, and it's not gonna look right. You know? So, like during school, I was I mean, a lot of us were being criticized for drawing any kind of anime. Like, oh, that's right. And that was like around 2007, and during that time, it was just hyper rendered realism, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, and that kind of stuff. And
Pretty much what Will does.
yeah, but I stay true with what I enjoy. Yeah, and I like anime from when I was a kid. So.
On a side note, are you watching Dragon Ball Z Unabridged?
I watched like 1 or 2 episodes. Like, I'm really not good. Like I said, I watched Dragon Ball. I only watched up to the Frieza saga.
I never watched it at all, but this Dragon Ball Z Unabridged thing on YouTube is hilarious.
Yeah, I've seen like.
Wait,
an episode
unabridged
or
or wait, what?
abridged, right? Yeah.
Oh, is it abridged?
Yeah.
I thought it's unabridged.
I thought it was unabridged because they're like redubbing it with like.
Oh, let me take a because I've seen it, like I've been following it. Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, it's Dragon Ball Z abridged.
Oh, okay.
Team 4-Star.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah, those guys are funny.
It's awesome. It's awesome. That's all you need.
Especially if you're familiar, like if you've seen it before, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, now they changed the dialogue.
Yeah.
See, I never saw the original. I mean, one of my old studio mates he'd like downloaded every episode and he would watch it. And I just remember like being, because the fight scenes would last for like 10 episodes sometimes.
Yeah, that was the ridiculous part. Like when I first saw it, because there was really nothing else, and it's like I didn't really know that there could be like better fight scenes or something. And it's like at the time when I saw it, it's like Dragon Ball Z. Oh, it's so intense. Look, their arms aren't even showing up; they're just lines. Oh my god! And it was intense at the time, but looking back on it, it's like, oh, that was...
Dear God, look at the veins.
Oh, and I also want to clear up some things so I don't give the school such a bad name. But like starting off, it was that way with the peer pressure and stuff like that. You see all these other artists doing a specific style, and you just want to cater to what they want. Like near the end, you kind of discover yourself, and it really wasn't that bad. And I ended up doing what I enjoyed more than and everybody kind of just followed. Like, oh, wait, you enjoy anime too? Oh, me too, And they just
like a dirty secret.
Yeah, exactly.
You like wearing pantyhose too?
It really felt that way, like a dirty secret kind of deal, like.
No, I totally know what you mean.
I don't watch anime. Leave me alone.
I felt almost like it was like a coming out when I was starting to do anime, and it's like, oh,
and it's
sad. I like this. Okay, hey, Trunks S298 says, hey, Jet, Bob, Will, Sycra, what are your goals for 2014?
You mean New Year's resolutions?
Goals, not New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions are just nonsense that no one does. It should be called January resolutions. That's what I think. Go to the gym for January. A lot.
I did.
Yeah.
I completed P90X once for the New Year's.
Yeah. Jet did P90X, and he had good results.
But then I let it fall.
Man.
No, it only lasts for like freaking 2 or 3 months because the exercises are so intense that once you get off of it, your body really is starving. It's like, don't you ever do that to me again. And you just gain all the weight back.
You know what's really intense?
What?
People who go camping are intense.
I like camping.
You know that at one point, everything was camping.
Yep.
Back in the day when we were hunting woolly mammoths.
Back in the hood, we were shooting some b-ball with the woolly mammoth.
Oh, Uncle Phil died.
I'm sorry. Man, it sucks. Every time, because that song pops up everywhere. Everyone just sings that song and breaks out into that fresh.
It's like I used to do your mom jokes all the time. Like, they were pretty funny until I ran into a friend that didn't have a mom anymore.
Oh. Ouch.
Oh, okay. I got a story for you guys. This is a good one.
Speaking of your mom.
Speaking of your mom.
Burn!
Okay, what's your story?
All right, so check it out, man. My buddy, there's 2 kids at our school, in our high school, and they were
That's
they
it?
were just 2 of them. That was it.
Oh man!
Oh.
The end.
By the way, we have 487 viewers.
Great story, bro.
Clap hands.
It's amazing.
That's
But
insane,
yeah.
isn't
Okay,
it?
so there was
All right.
2 kids at your school.
Okay, 2 kids at the school, right? They were silly kids. They were pranksters, you know. They were class clowns and stuff, and they always hung out with each other. And one of my close buddies, he was kind of a gullible guy. Okay, so check this out. One of the kids, let's call him G. Okay. He says, "Hey, go ask B. How much his dad can bench press." And and then, so my buddy, the gullible guy, P, right? P. He walks over and asks B, "Hey, how much does your dad bench press?" And then B, he looks really sad, puts his head down, and then J, he's the other prankster, comes up and goes,
That's you,
Dude!
right?
No, another J, man.
Oh,
Spoil
okay.
it. Don't spoil it.
Okay.
He's like, dude, didn't you know B's dad doesn't have any arms? And everyone was like, oh shit!
Oh man!
And I was like, wait a second, B's dad is my wrestling coach. What? And because I wasn't in on the joke either, I didn't know what was going on, so I was like, you know, I totally was like caught off guard, and I was like, wait a second, you two.
Oh.
Sneaky little
So he
scoundrel.
really did have arms.
He had arms, but it was just so stupid.
And he used to beat him.
So big. My friend felt so bad. He said, "Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Oh
He
man!
like sorry."
That reminds me of a joke. These kids come up to this house and they knock on the door and they say, this woman answers the door and the kids say, "Can Johnny come out and play baseball with us?" And the mom says, "Well, boys, you know Johnny doesn't have any arms or legs." And they said, "That's okay. He can be second base."
Oh.
It was horrible.
True Thundercraft says, "Man, you guys are killing me. I just got home from a 9 hours train trip and now a super awesome stream." Oh, I guess that I thought you meant we're killing you with the humor, but I see it's
Oh, okay.
it's
Not
really
literally.
late and okay.
That's the name of the show, is the Super Awesome Stream.
I think so. It's
Oh.
a something super stream. Oh man, Niken says, "Even though a sketchbook is for you and you alone, I have problems with getting too attached to everything I draw, which in turn stops me from taking chances and bumping into something new or get those aha moments. Does this go away over time, or do you have any tips for this?"
I think it goes away with mileage.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Keep drawing.
So-
Let's explain mileage. These terms are a bit confusing.
Right. Because time is relative. Like, if you filled up 12 sketchbooks in a year, that's a lot of mileage. But if it took you 12 years to fill up 12 sketchbooks, that's not a lot of mileage.
Yeah. Yeah, then you're like 12 SBs per year. What? I just got the new Intos pen and touch for Christmas. I'm trying Photoshop today, but I didn't move smoothly with the brushes. But I don't move smoothly with the brushes. Also, I like drawing with a lot of lines. How do I combine the tablet ways with the pencil lot of lines ways?
Lot of lines ways.
Brush settings and stuff, dude. Like, it's gonna take some time. You just got your tablet.
Yeah, man.
Maybe play with it a while and then see. I don't know. But you'll get it, because I know you can do lots of lines in Photoshop. That's not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that bear is so like vulnerable looking.
Well, I mean, come on. Look what's going after it.
Talking about Will.
Oh,
That is awesome, man.
let's see your drawing, Will.
Oh, he's saying I look like a bear. That's adorable.
Oh. Well, you are an adorable bear, Will.
Oh, this is really going for.
Cuddly little bear.
That was my major in college.
Being a bear?
Being adorable.
Oh.
You scamp, you.
Uh-huh.
You tramp.
Now you're a tramp.
Tramp
Anyway.
is different from tramp, I believe. Let me look it up in the. I'm offended.
Yeah. Oh, it's already been 2.5 hours, so or close to.
Wow.
So if you guys let me know if you need to go or if you're still okay with hanging out, because I can go either way.
I'm good to go.
How are you for time?
I
How
can
about
stay.
30 minutes?
Yeah,
30
30
more
minutes.
minutes?
Let's get this.
Okay, we'll end that in 30 more minutes.
So it better be good questions.
Mm.
Don't waste our time.
Definitely should talk about Andrew Loomis here too, guys. There was tons of information in his books, tons of better definition of talent, like how to be recognized, what separates the visual artist from the photograph, just so much goodness. Totally. There's a reason I didn't mention Andrew Loomis in my recent recommended books thing. The one thing is that, because I benefited a lot from Andrew Loomis, but I was trying to just say, if you have the least amount of money, what do you get the most out of? And with Andrew Loomis, he's kind of the type of guy that you can keep going back over and over again, learning new stuff, because every time I read his books, I get something new out of it. But like with the Stephen Rogers books, I learned anatomy faster than I did with Bridgman or Loomis, so that's the only reason why I recommended that one.
Bridgman isn't actually a very, it's a great book, but there's no instruction in it.
Yeah, it's more like wedge. Do it. Do wedges. And
Oh yeah. Well, there's literally there's hardly any instruction at all. And I'd heard that was because
he was drunk.
No, it's because he never wrote anything down.
I heard he did the whole thing when he was drunk, or parts of it. Yeah, that's the story.
Oh, well, I hadn't heard that. What I'd heard was it was collections of notes that he had given to his students that they'd put together and made books out of, but he never actually. So you have to take a class from somebody that's taken a class from somebody that took a class from him in order to really understand it.
Right.
Oh, man.
Sand Kvarn says, "Help me! I really want to just sit down and really get into just drawing, but I rarely have the time, and when I do, I usually don't have the energy or motivation. Should I follow a scheme or something else? It would be a great help."
I would say find somebody to draw with. That's the best way to learn, is to have fun doing it with somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have a lot of time, 3 hours of sketching with friends is a good way to do it.
Yeah. Dude, I have not drawn anything just random like this in years, seriously. And because you guys are on, it's just I feel like we're together, just
Aww.
sketching. It's bringing back some old feelings, and I feel good. Thanks, guys. I think I need a hug.
They don't have an option for that in these Google Hangouts.
Yeah. Dude, that's business venture. We need to open up a new Facebook, and then we do hugs instead of pokes.
There's a hug plug-in.
Is there?
Yeah, because pokes are just kind of creepy, right?
Okay.
I'm poking you.
Exactly. Stop poking me. You're a creepy old dude.
What are you poking me with? What is this thing? That looks like a mushroom tip.
Fat Mouse 09. The only thing that can make me forget about food is usually art. Ever gotten so into the zone while drawing that you lose track of time and everything else? So hard to set aside time for drawing. Yep, all the time. That's what I do. Every time I put on headphones and I read my Kim Jong-gi book, and I lose track of time for sure.
Wow.
For sure.
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 Doi.
Oh yeah. Tell him about it. Sure.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Everyone should know.
Hey, Will.
Yeah.
Sure. Try it out, man. It's okay. Let it out, man. Let it out.
Surgeon B says, could anyone link up to that video with the online resources? I'm not sure who said he uploaded it, and I want to check it out. I think that was me. Just look at my channel.
It's like your recent video.
It's the channel you're on right now. If you click the name, there's other videos by the same guy.
Like everybody. Okay, so if you guys want to know about resources and what books and kind of, check out Sycra's, I think it was your latest video. He tells you which books.
Yeah, the one before this one.
Which walk-on pens. He breaks everything down, and this is such a freaking generous.
I didn't mention the Wacom pens, but yeah.
Wacom
tablets,
right? Yeah, the Cintiqs and all that stuff, and you talked about your process and progressions.
Kellawhoop says, Bob, help the bear. Make someone save him. Kellawhoops, you have an amazing name. Kellawhoops.
Yes, you do. And nobody's saving the bear. We all know how this is gonna end.
Oh
no, not like the fox.
No, we don't. Don't do it.
Don't worry, the bear will be alive during the entire time. It's just, it's gonna take a little while is all.
I saw this horrible show where it was like a Japanese show. Maybe it was Korean. They were talking Japanese, but anyway. And they had a bear, and then it was a baby bear, and they put him against like baby leopards and all this stuff, and he started getting really terrified, and it was horrible, and they were all laughing. It's not. I guess it's your cup of tea, Jeff. Okay, Forever Tape says, question, recently I have sold a drawing of mine for $45, and my family says I should be proud. I'm 13 years old. Yeah. The problem is I don't feel that the drawing I made was worth $45. I didn't come up with the price, the buyer did, and I didn't want to argue with them. I don't always feel confident in my art, and I was wondering if you guys had any advice to help me be more confident in my art. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead, Will.
Oh. It doesn't matter if he thinks it's worth $45. I mean, it matters if somebody else does.
Yeah. I mean, they're happy, right? If they're happy and they're not...
and they're clapping their hands.
Yeah.
But
I always, when I recommend people, like when they're selling their art, I try and put it in perspective that there's every person out there walking around has a dollar sign floating over their head. And that dollar sign is either $0 or $1 or $10 or $100 or $1,000 or $1 million. And that dollar represents what it is they're willing to pay for your piece of artwork.
Yeah.
And so the trick is, how do you convince them to give you the money, that they're willing to pay? And so it really has nothing to do with whether he thinks it's good enough. It's whether he finds the right people that thinks it's worth something.
Yeah, he or she. I don't know if it's a he or she. But,
abstract fine arts.
Jesus Scallywag. In my opinion, New Year's resolutions don't work because people focus on all the disappointments they had in the last year. Like you guys were saying earlier, negative motivations hardly last. I think okay. True Thundercraft says Jetty was not clapping at 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 50 seconds into this stream.
I was clapping.
Oh, you're clapping now.
Oh.
Trevor Phillips says, say my name, say my name.
That's all he wants, Trevor.
That's all he ever wanted.
Oh yeah, I'm going to need another prompt.
Okay.
Say my name!
It's a name game show.
Say my name!
Oh, I'm going to have to scroll so far down to find a prompt for you.
I've got one.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Where is Feng Zhu? Oh, draw a maniacal pineapple.
My thing is lagging out your sentence.
Or someone else can have a topic, I guess. Okay, Sybil QQ says, how did you guys build up your own styles? Did you base it off fellow artists' work, level of effort, or just random preference? How'd you build up your own style?
It was a mix of a lot of things. At first, I was
Oh, there's a cat.
Oh,
kitty cat.
love cats.
Marty
Cute.
McFly.
Oh, it's shy.
How'd you? It looks like you have one of those microphones, the fuzzy ones. How'd you build up your own style? That's what everyone's asking, Will.
One of these.
Wow, that's a fancy pants microphone.
So,
Look at that. Look
Wow.
at that.
Oh, I need one of those. I need one of those.
oh, my knee.
Oh.
Style. We're talking about style.
Yeah,
Um,
that.
Sybil
Okay.
QQ asks, how do you guys build up your own style? Did you base it off of fellow artists' works, or level of effort, or just random preference?
For me, my style is basically what I got when I stopped. Like, I learned the rules first, and then I picked the ones I liked and threw everything out.
Mm.
But so it was. I really wasn't looking for it. It was more like I was just trying to figure out how to do it right, and then I found myself getting bored doing some things and getting excited doing others. Like, I really like exaggeration, and I really like trying to figure out shapes, like designing the whole figure into a shape. And so that's basically what my style became. Is like, this is just how I like to render. This is how I like to design and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some Kyrie Goshima says, draw a picture of a colossal otter terrorizing a small fishing village.
Oh, okay. Let me write that down.
Colossal otter terrorizing a small fishing village. For me, it was a bit
Colossal
different.
Otter sounds like a rock band.
Yeah. For me, the style thing was that I had to like, the thing is, people always talked about naturally evolving styles and then just look at life, but with life, I didn't see what was in my head for style. Like, I remember growing up seeing styles that were cool, and what I realized is I think we all know what our style is, in a way. It's sort of done, and when we see other artists, it's not so much, in my view anyway, that we're being influenced by their style. It's more like we're seeing in their style something that we naturally possess. It's more like you're seeing yourself, and it's like, oh, that's me. And then you see something else that an artist might have, and it's like, oh, that might be how I am as well. And so you sort of put it all together, and some parts no other artist has. It's just what's in your own head, and then that's your style. But
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good point.
For me, it was. I think I said this before. But anyways, I was watching Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that, and then I just started sort of copying that. And then at first, I think that's how it started. I just sort of wanted to draw what I was seeing, so I copied that, and so I sort of started off in a weird manga anime-ish place, and then eventually, I tried to go away from that and go into someplace more realistic. But the way I found my style was sort of just realizing that even though for a period of time the way I was drawing was very flawed, it was still very inherently me. And looking at other artists, it was like what Sycra was saying, that I saw things in them that I wanted, and I tried to incorporate that. But eventually, I just sort of had to stop looking at other artists and just, flip through some of the works that I did when I was younger, and then going like, okay, yeah, this is where I was really at. So I was, sort of have to try to work my way back into that place.
Mm-hmm.
And it is sort of, for some people, you just naturally do style just because of the way you draw and the way your muscles are and the way you see things. But there is a part where, like, I've really learned to respect style as a whole nother world. Perspective is its own world. Anatomy is its own world. Painting is its own world. But so is style. It's so important figuring out what you can get away with in your style. Like, if you go into a cartoon, it's a completely different world with its own completely different rules. Whereas compared to reality, it's like reality has its own very specific rules. But going into your own style, which is a reflection of what you see in your inner world and stuff like that, that has its own set of rules that you have to learn.
Right.
Jet, you might be able to answer this one. Drawerboy99 says, I want to become a creature artist at some point in my life. Any tips for how to come up with creature ideas?
Oh, wow. Great. Yeah. Yeah, I took a creature design class, and
With
with Terrell Whitland.
with one of the best creature artists in the industry, but
in our industry, yeah.
in the industry.
In the industry, yeah. And for creature design, understanding first of all animal anatomy, understanding the types of species that they have in this on our Earth, on our planet, you know, and because everything really is derived from reality. That's what otherwise we can't relate to it as human beings. So we need to look at the animals that we have here and study them. If you're gonna do like study horses, that's different species from a dog to primates. So just understand all the anatomy, all the bones and muscles from those guys, and then there's different ways you can play with them. You can combine the animals between each other. So like a horse and a cat, you know what I mean? So that's one way of creating a creature. Or you can add in elemental features like say a rock horse or a metal horse, or and then you just play with all those ideas and just keep mixing things up that way. So yeah. And then what were we talking about? Lizard horse earlier?
Yeah, lizard horse.
Oh, and what about this? Remember we were talking about the spiders? We were gonna talking about the spider people that represent each race.
Yeah, we had this idea of like, let's say you take a Black Widow spider, as a human character, who would that be? And then we had like the idea like, oh, maybe she's like a geisha, and then there's like a tarantula, and it's like, oh, he's the barbarian guy, and he's really hairy, or I don't know, like.
So I guess what I'm saying is the point of it is just to come up with the ideas for creature designs. I think it would be good to sit down and just write down the ideas first. What kind of animals, what kind of features we want to see in it, and then do it. So I think that's kind of an approach I would take for creature design.
Okay. Kate Quinn says, do any of you have issues with people wanting to see your sketchbooks? If you don't anymore or never have, how did you come over the sort of fear or whatever? My sketch process is terrible until I get one which I like. Means I have so many bad sketches, so when someone wants to see my sketchbook, I really have issues with it. I have major issues with people who just take my books to look in, but I really just want to feel comfortable with it, even with the bad things. Any tips? Do you have any ideas, Will?
From me?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. I think it goes back to that mileage thing. Like I've just drawn so many sketchbooks that like I'm not really they're functional, I guess now. They're not something I put anything that I would be embarrassed for anybody to see. Like there's terrible drawings in them. I did a stinker yesterday, and I'm like, I don't like this drawing at all. But the next page will be better, or hopefully, or the page after that will be better. But like, there was a time where it would take me a long time to do a sketchbook. And I would write notes in them, or poetry, or whatever, or I'd draw sketches of girlfriends or ex-girlfriends or whatever, stuff I didn't want people to see. But now most of my sketchbooks are what did I say? They're functional. But I've been actually thinking about lately keeping, or I have been keeping a separate sketchbook that I won't show anybody. It's just for myself, where it's been a lot longer on the drawings and sort of like combining it with a journal, a sketch journal.
Right. Okay.
Is that a good answer for the?
Yeah, I think so. Kyrie is saying, finally the beautiful otter is being drawn, sobs with happiness. Is this person from your stream, Jet? I recall the otter thing.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
There's
someone obsessed with otters. Jet had a stream and everyone was obsessed with otters. It was strange.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not afraid.
So, Lucky7 says, "Oh," in all caps. "Oh God, oh God, please make Will draw a cat horse."
A cat horse.
Can I show them one of my creature designs?
Yeah, for sure.
Let me just pull it real quick.
No, it's against the rules.
It's against the rules. All right, rewind.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
While
Well,
you're looking for it,
let me
Gail
send you-
Kwan says you also have to look at the environment and how that may affect evolution of the creature, such as gravity, different types of atmosphere, and what does it eat, and adaptive features for it to acquire its prey. That's cool.
exactly what that person said. Yeah.
I heard somewhere about that, where if you want to design a creature or even a warrior or something, you think about what animal it feeds off of or who it fights, and that
Yeah,
will.
you go into everything. Their diet, their environment. habitat.
Something's funny, Will. What is it?
I'm just there's this stream of pickup lines going on right now, and it's cracking me up. Like,
What is it?
girl, are you a Euro train simulator? Because the only people I can imagine having fun with you are weird German dudes. Wait, what was it? Girl, you must be Wii Fit because you kept me nice and sweaty for a few weeks, but now you're kept away in my basement. Girl, you must be Duck Hunt because I still get mad thinking about you 25 years later.
All right.
All right, back to work.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay,
here
I'm
we
at
go.
your screen, Jet.
Here's that creature diseases. First off, this is my art of JettyJet Facebook page, and basically, I have a set of animal creature designs, and what I have is basically first the actual animal, which is the study of a gorilla, and then from the gorilla's understanding, I do something based off of that creature. So from my understanding of the gorilla, I go into that. So like the dog, and a dog turns into a rock dog. Instead of like mixing animals, I added an elemental feature into it. A cat, and this is like a cat primate, cat hind legs, with primate forearms, and to top it off with some leaves and forest elements and stuff like that. So yeah, there's just a lot of things you can do with it. Oh, and let me just finish it off with the last guy. Yeah, and then the robotic element that you can throw in there. So there's just a a large variety of things that you can choose from. You just got to be creative and sit down and brainstorm.
Those are good.
Yeah,
Those
those
are
are really
you, sir.
nice. Hugo Barbosa asks, do you think it's better to start a digital draw directly on the computer, or is it better to start on paper and then put it on the computer? Sounds like personal preference.
Yep. Personal preference.
I used to think it was easier to do Sketch, but I just wasn't comfortable enough with the tablet yet.
Yeah.
Now I could take it or leave it.
Yeah. I heard this piece, Silverbell says, I heard this piece of advice from Stanley Lau, Art Germ, that it's good to always record ideas to later draw, even if you aren't drawing at the moment, so that then you don't get art block or just don't know what to draw. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Stanley Lau.
Mariano Blanco asks, what medium site or /site do you think is the best for sharing your artwork online? Also, what are your views on fan art? Thank you.
I think Instagram. Now.
Instagram?
Yeah.
I never know what's what. Like, Tumblr's hot for a while, and then Instagram, and I don't keep up with it all.
Mm-hmm.
But Instagram's good?
Yeah. I don't like Tumblr is good, but it like where Blogger used to be good for like putting sketches up or doing posts for it, people would only read it for about 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes at the most. Now with Tumblr, it's like more people see it, but they see it for like a half a second or 2 seconds, and then they move on to the next thing. So
Right.
I think it devalues the art in a sense. Where Instagram, it still has that aspect to it, but I think people, I think you get more out of it. I think you get more out of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I know, like, Bobby Chu, I think he posts almost every day an Instagram drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got about
Golly,
10
that's
minutes left. 15
had 1,100 comments on this.
and 444 viewers right now.
Nice.
That's not bad.
That's a lot of
Not
comments.
bad at all.
Oh, Mew Pet, good night, guys. It was really helpful to watch this, but I have to go. Ah, well, if you're watching this in the future, Mew Pet, we're behind you right now. Turn around. We're all standing behind you.
That's looking great, Jet. I like it.
Thank you.
Um,
I just stuck on this one forever.
that's
all right.
okay. You did a good
Where-
drawing.
Well, see, my insecurities, but Will is so good.
Me? I'm for...
Well,
Thank-
Will's good. I meant to say yes, Will's good, but I mean to say Jeff. Jeff's drawing's like freaking amazing.
Too late. I know I was the second choice.
I meant to give it to you. I did. Honest.
Lie.
No, but look. I mean, I have this terrible lag. Like freaking, it
You've
came back.
revealed your true self.
Jeff. No.
No longer does your love appeal to me.
My Freudian slips.
Super Mario Koopa says, I like to draw cartoons. My art teacher makes us draw realism, and I suck. She says drawing realism will help us draw cartoons. Does it really? Or did you have a similar experience?
Well, I think for where life drawing really helps with drawing cartoons, like this is something I do every day. I sketch people, the way they walk, the way they stand, the way they sit, the way they interact with one another, and you can't get that out of a book. You can't get that out of a a lesson. You have to like observe it from real life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's like. They say that if you're drawing a character and you're not using the hands, that you're losing half of your acting ability, because most of the acting is in the hands, but it's also in how they cross their arms or they'll lean on something. Every person has a very unique way of doing it. Nobody sits exactly the same way or leans exactly the same way. Yeah. So you need to practice capturing that in real life, and that'll help your cartoons out a lot better.
For me, I guess it depends on how exaggerated your style is, but for me, everything is sort of goes back to reality. Like I use that as reference for things. So if I want to exaggerate something, well, I got to know what the thing is that I'm exaggerating, and then I can exaggerate it.
Otters, for instance.
Yes.
Right. Right.
It's sort of reality is the thing is, with each interpretation, reality in a way gets watered down. You can't get all the details, you can't get all the nuances of the shape or the shading or all that kind of stuff. So then when you take from reality, that's sort of like the most potent you can get.
Right.
Right. Extra Fuzzy says... Oh, go ahead.
You gotta do it, man.
Do what?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
A little more passion, man. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, Extra Fuzzy's question is, so I might be physically unable to draw for a while.
Like this. You ain't wearing no robe, so why you judging?
All right.
Yeah, so you might be physically unable to draw for a while. I don't know what that means. What are ways to stay productive and study? Oh, maybe you're in a cast or something, like you broke your arm? Or you're planning on doing that at a later date, because you said, I might be physically unable to draw for a while.
Or they're in outer space.
It's like, I'm going to get in a fight, and I may be physically unable to draw for a while. But that guy's not going to be walking again.
Did you post something today about coming from outer space?
No.
No? Okay.
But it sounds like something I would do. Why?
Somebody wrote something earlier today about it's been in outer space for 3 years, but it's back now. The beard, it's coming. And I thought it was you that posted it, but I can't remember now. I got really excited for a second. I was like,
for me to have a beard?
No, I got excited.
I would not look good with a beard, man.
I got excited at the idea that someday in the next 50 years, people will travel often enough to space that they'll be saying like, "Hey, I just got back from outer space." and it's not them bragging. It's just like that's just what they've been doing. Like they've been in Florida or something.
Would it be fun though? I don't know if outer space would be that fun, honestly. It's like it would be cool to see the Earth from space, but if you're just looking at space, wouldn't black get boring after a while?
Hey, what about the guys?
Go ahead.
What about the guys who want to go to like Mars, right? They spend like millions of dollars going there, right?
Oh, there's a lot of people that want to go to Mars.
Yeah.
They signed up and they're like they're all millionaires, right? But like with all their because they're rich, they're kind of. It can be materialistic because they're rich, right? Once they get there, they won't have anything, and then there's no way coming back. Like,
yeah,
they won't have anything. So.
Well, they'll be pioneers, right? They'll be pioneers, so they'll have that.
But what if a day later they're like, I want to go back.
No, you know what's great about them is that in 100 years' time, they will be the tourist attraction for other people. It's like, look at the skeletons of the Mars corpse. Like, it'll be they'll seriously, like, I actually think that'll happen. They'll say that that's the, what do you call it? Tourist attraction.
Right. Here he is, the pioneers. It's like Plymouth Rock,
Yeah, that they used to they didn't have toilets, so they built this hole in the ground, and that's where
they want to be the first space pilgrims. They're like, here he was on his giant pile of ancient money. This is where he died.
The elites.
Ow, my knee!
That looked painful.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And I caught it all on camera.
All right, I'll take one for you. Oh, my head!
Oh!
Are you just hurting each other?
Because that's what this stream has become.
My face. I got your back. Your turn, Jeff.
Oh God.
You'd have to for the team, man.
Oh, you first.
I already did. I went down, dude.
Oh, do it again.
No.
Do it again.
Dude, I used to do that during gym when like my friends would fall. Like you see them, like sometimes they're tripping. We'd run around the gym for exercise sometimes when it was raining out. So we'd have to stay in our gym to run. And like if somebody went down, I'd just eat it. I just take it. It's like I don't want them pointing and laughing at one person.
Aww,
that's nice.
Yeah, nice guy, Jet.
And then I got brain damage.
Hey, yeah.
But
that helped me with drawing, yeah.
Yeah. It happened to Kim Jong-gi, got hit in the head with a baseball.
What is it that made you? What is it that made you want to do that?
What?
To take one so that they wouldn't be embarrassed.
Well, because I hate people like freaking, I don't know, being made fun of and stuff.
Yeah.
I try to just look out for the lesser of the less fortunate people.
Where did that come from, though?
Where did that come
His
from?
heart.
Especially at that young age.
I don't really know. Like I don't know, man.
Man, you just got a heart of gold.
I think maybe it was Dragon Ball Z.
Really?
I think it could be.
How does that work?
No, I can see that.
You want to protect the innocent and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, like, okay, for example, if everybody's running around the gym and then one person falls, it sucks so bad. I'm like, screw it, I'll fucking take it. I'm gonna just take one for the team. I've done it twice, and it's just like, oh, it's okay. The guy fell, Jet fell, it's good. Everybody's falling now,
Yeah.
And then my friends would actually do it after I did it, so it was just, yeah.
Oh.
You set a standard.
You're a good man, Jet.
Yeah.
You changed the paradigm. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
And that's why you just gotta change the machine, man.
Kaitran, how did you guys go about marketing yourselves and get employers to look at your work? Sorry if you already answered this. Thanks.
Oh. I like how they phrased it.
I don't think there's an excuse anymore. It's just DeviantArt, and there's like Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram. There's so many avenues to get employers to look at your work. It's more that either you submit to them, like they're hiring, and then you send your work, or you just make a portfolio. And like I know on DeviantArt, I've got people from studios who are browsing DeviantArt, and they look for people that way. So if you build it, they will come.
Yeah. You should.
Yes, exactly.
You should do it on purpose, though. Like, build a portfolio for the job that you want to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't put random crap up there. Like,
because you get the jobs that you have the portfolio suited for, and if you have something that you don't like, they will hire you to do that.
Yeah. I saw one of my favorite examples is an artist named Matthias Henneke. Like, he's a great cartoonist, and he got hired by Disney, and it was so random. It was Sherm Cohen. I don't know if you know him. He's like he worked on SpongeBob and a whole bunch of other shows, The Mighty Bee, and he did that. He wrote the Storyboard Secrets DVD series. Anyways, he just tweeted Matthias Hanneke's portfolio. He's like, this guy's stuff is fun. He tweeted it, and 6 months later, he gets an email from Matthias. He's like, thank you for getting me the job at Disney.
Wow.
He's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you tweeted the link to my page, and somebody from Disney, while he was working at Disney, contacted him and said, hey, Sherm recommended your stuff, and it looks really cool. We'd like you to come in. But if you look at his website, it's like he was it was like he was applying for the job for a year before they even contacted him. Like, there's a year's worth of portfolio of this is a lineup of characters, this is a lineup of concept designs, and he was having fun with it. Like, he was entertaining himself, but it looked like a portfolio that it was perfect for the job they hired him for, and it was perfect for him because he was just doing what he loved doing. Where I've heard a lot of people get hired on jobs for an illustration that they did 4 years ago, and they're like, I really didn't like that drawing. I really don't like this job, but it's a good opportunity. I feel bad about turning it down.
Right.
So yeah, do it on purpose.
Do it on purpose. Okay. Hey guys, before you split up, this is Jensen again. I wanted to ask, do you think freelance illustration is dead or dying? Someone mentioned it as Chris Oatley and Noah Bradley, and I wanted to hear your opinions. If it is, how come?
I saw that interview. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that there's a time and place for freelance. There's a time in your career when it's really important to be a freelance artist and to take jobs that pay pretty well, but are also stuff that you wouldn't do on your own because it forces you to grow as an artist. But then eventually you get kind of tired of it, and you start farming. Either I farmed a lot of those jobs out to other artists, or I started saying no to jobs that I wasn't excited about. Mm-hmm. And now my intention is to do my own thing and find a way to make a living with that.
Right.
What do you guys think?
I think doing your own thing is where it's at. Just because we should really take advantage of the time we're in, where before you couldn't get seen unless you were, well, I'm published in Marvel comic books, or you get your credits on something. But now it's you just need to have it out there, and then people will see it. So if it's good, people will see it.
Yep.
I don't know.
I agree completely, Sycra. Yeah.
So it's pretty much time's up now. So any last? Oh, you're signing it. That's awesome. Great timing.
I'm trying to. Yeah, that is fine. Yeah. I sign it different every time. But nope.
Right.
Let's see here. Where's that thing at? So we're coming up. We're done. This is it. Oh, we have a dragon.
We have a dragon. What happened to the otter? Do you still have the otter?
I got tired of it. I'm pretty exhausted right now.
Yeah. See, this is when you know you have to take a break.
Yeah.
The energy sort of drops, and everyone's like.
Yeah. It's sort of the quality went down pretty quick. It's just oh, okay, I'm tired. I'm gonna have to just doodle random stuff. That doesn't take much energy.
Yeah, basically, I'm gonna leave here and go get a drink and run a couple errands, and then come back and do some more work, and I'll be recharged again.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, well, from me, I want to thank everybody who came by, and definitely want to thank my good friends JettyJet from the JettyJetShow, Jet Kim Chair, WillTerrell from the WillTerrell 2001 Space Odyssey, Bob Meatbag, who's Jeff, who's Zenfu Lee, who's cool, and thanks so much to you guys for coming and for staying up for those people from Europe, Europeans. It was great to have you, and
thanks for having us from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canada misses you and loves you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, I saw that.
Really.